and
if
Neon and Fnatic respectively. And now if you figure it out that if you consider that they might lose those series, they're going to be having a score 4 wins and 3 losses. Same as Boom if they manage to win Vice today, which they should be able to. If all those things align, we will have a 3-way tie for the major. So pretty interesting.
Could be a 4-way tie even.
Yeah, 4-way tie.
There's lots of possibilities.
There's
only mathematicians can get into, unfortunately. I'm not smart enough.
I did break down all the possibilities today, so obviously the second series is going to completely change depending on how the first series goes. But let's get into that this first series here. So as mentioned, 496, it's actually less important they win today than anyone else because they still have a chance of clearing relegation if they don't win today because they've got that match versus Execration tomorrow. However, obviously, they just want to get clear of relegation now. Like, it would make so much more sense for them to do so. This team as well, I've been told they're playing without Bombi.
I'm done.
Now, yeah. I mean, when we're looking at 496, almost every single time...
What happened?
We're talking about Bombi. I know.
Who is in his stead?
I don't think he's dead. I don't think we should be spreading that information.
No, I said who is in his stead.
Oh!
No, not that. Not that.
Jesus.
No.
It's a little bit of a different question.
Yeah. Who is in his stead? 489, I think he's called.
Oh, 489. He's also a core player, though.
Yeah, but I mean...
he was that player
458, sorry. 458 is his name. Yeah,
different.
So 458 is standing in for 496. Good luck, casters. Enjoy that one.
The thing is, okay, casters are going to have it very difficult, but also the players, because Bombi was their... my favorite player of that team, definitely.
And he was the position 5 of the team,
and the position 5, and the shining superstar, upcoming one. I wonder what happened. Was he maybe, feeling too big because of all the compliments that we were giving him, or did he maybe get poached by some of the upcoming stacks for the second season?
I mean, but that wouldn't happen yet.
At the end, yeah.
It would probably happen in 2 weeks' time.
I actually, across all regions, there are teams disbanding or not showing up for the last week, which is very sad, but also a little bit understandable considering there's a lot of time investment, a lot of time involvement. It's not only the 3 hours that you spend for the series, right? You have to prepare for the series, you have to scrim for the series, and if you see no point, if you're about to be relegated, you can kind of see the point of view of these players that
you can, and also
stopping.
I think you have to take into account that there's a very little turnaround time between Season 1 and Season 2, so if you do want to form a new stack, you need to get practicing now, especially when the team's going to be at the major and you're probably not going to be able to scrim against them during that time, so you want to get your scrims in as soon as possible and start making your team work. I think that's the mentality a lot of these teams are having. But let's talk a little bit about TNC. Of course, I don't want to say this match looks easy for them, but without Bombi, it also makes a huge difference to the way that TNC can draft this one as well, because obviously everyone bans out that Phoenix against Bombi. No longer needed, so they can open up a couple more bans and TNC can play how they really want to play. And if they are given the pieces, we know that this team could just be really, really dominating. But what we have seen from them is a pretty weak laning phase. Do you think they're going to be addressing that today?
I mean, hopefully not today, but in the past couple of days. They need to come into this match very prepared, because 496, they might not have the best standings in this tournament so far, but what always made them shine so far in the tournament was their laning phase, which TNC was exploited in many times. So hopefully they managed to work on it, but on paper they were the favorites for me already. Now that Bombi is not there and they have 4 core players, they're even more of a favorite for me.
This series, today's day, realistically, is a little bit of a snooze fest when it comes to predictions, right? Because we will all go for TNC, most likely all go for Boom. But I wanted to be the devil's advocate. I wanted to really go for 496 because they've taken a series off of every big team that they... game off of every big team that they've played in the tournament. And they're always so close. They won early game, they won with late game scenarios like 58 minutes or 30 minutes games. So they have a different skill set available for them and to them to take different drafts against TNC. But without Bombi, there's just a missing gear. He was really a big part of their machine.
But, there is something from the TNC machine which might be missing as well. And that is, of course, the nerf, which has come to Morphling, We've seen that
To
hero
Shaker?
change quite a lot. Yeah, and to Shaker as well. So you know, those two heroes which they played around quite heavily are now kind of changed a little bit. Meanwhile, a couple of the disputed heroes between these two teams, which would be Mars Disruptor and Earth Spirit, those heroes are completely untouched. So there's obviously those might get banned out instead now. Hard to tell. Really difficult to see that until we actually see the players into the game. But yeah, I mean, I think it's just going to be a case of them having to play as much as possible before this match, hopefully, and figure out which heroes are feeling good, which heroes are feeling bad, and also a case of trying to figure out who's actually playable. You know, especially out of these nerfed heroes.
I mean, there were a couple of nerfs, as we said, but I don't think any of those nerfs were so big that it's like unplayable, you know? Like, it's gonna feel a little bit weaker, like Puck won't be able to clear waves anymore. You might have to adjust the item build slightly, like buy 3 nil talismans to get that additional like spell amplification, you know? But they're definitely still very playable. So
Okay.
I don't think we're gonna see too drastic of a change.
Okay. So we'll see. Pretty much just keeping things as normal.
You-
What about the morphling changes though?
Yeah.
Because
Morphling changes. He still can buy the Aghanims for the cooldown of 20 seconds.
I mean, when
so
you have Axe, it's the same,
yeah,
basically.
it's pretty much the same.
Except the cast range got nerfed a little bit.
The problem is, what about these other heroes that he combos with, like an Earthshaker that possibly is gone? There's still an option to go for the double of Earthshaker just because of the totem damage, but obviously it's not as strong as it used to be when TNC used to play it with Raven. And honestly, I feel like not a lot of things will change in drafts in the upcoming week, and it's always like that. If a patch hits mid-tournament, teams, they don't really have a lot of time to adapt. You'd much rather play your full comfort zone, the things that you've practiced, and these nerfs, on some heroes, yeah, they are really big, like on Nyx, on OD, we've talked about it, but like Lycan, 5 seconds on Wolves, will that stop you from picking it? Probably not.
No, still very viable. Alrighty, well, let's have a look at the head-to-head comparison between the winning timings of these two teams. Oh, sorry, the winning two, the two teams' stats against each other overall. It's a new one for us, but nothing too surprising here. I guess kills per minute is slightly interesting that that's leading towards 496's a favor. They do like to be quite aggressive in the early game, but unfortunately haven't been able to transform that into many wins, unfortunately. Any other stats here which catches your guys' eyes?
Yeah, I'm surprised by the lane performance, where TNC is actually winning, even though they had very bad laning phases overall.
Yeah,
It's a very surprising stat for me.
Had some very tricky.
The difference is TNC obviously has been winning overall in the tournament, so some of those other stats are a little bit skewed in their favor.
Yeah, but here we of course have the win rates over time. So you can see in these very early game, TNC haven't had any games go that early. 496 have, and they lost that game. Meanwhile, later on in the middle patch, you know, TNC obviously they have a much higher win rate throughout the entire tournaments. They're always ahead. 496, so you know, in that super late game, they've had a couple of victories there as well. So maybe some options there to drag the games out and play in that super late scenario. So 496. I mean, it's really hard to talk about them now that we know they don't have Bombi. It feels like a major part of their roster is missing. So TNC, you know, what kind of heroes are we expecting them to draft today?
As you said, I think they don't. I mean, they won't change very much. It's probably still a disruptor. I mean, they play IO as well. Puck is still a favorite of theirs, you know. But the biggest problem for me, or the biggest question mark for me for the team, has always been since the beginning. The ping, because obviously, you know, if you play with 100+ ping, playing that Mars offlane is very difficult. Playing +5s like Tusk and stuff, where you need to save really quickly, it can be very difficult. And we have seen that, you know, Fabi's going more to those disruptors, who's just, you glimpse a guy, it's very easy to set up, you know. It's,
and he's not even taking Aghanims from Roshan when it's available.
Because he's scared. They're two mobile guys, I can't catch them.
Yeah. Very difficult to cast that static storm. But if you have a ping, it can be a little bit difficult.
Ping problems in Dota, I just always say, you never know how much does it really impact you, you know? It just always sounds really bad, but is it that bad? Who knows? Only the players know.
But the thing is, there are some players that have been professional for way too long in a positive sense, obviously, and that kind of, you know, you're just in this good spot in which you never have ping, you're playing lands, you adjust yourself to that, you get accommodated. Meanwhile, you have these SCA, you have these CIS players that are struggling every day, there's electricity outage, they're always playing with high ping, so from some of these players you can see the adaptation period to be a little bit lower. It's easier for them to play with ping.
Yeah, and of course, I think the most relevant player this applies to is KP as well. You know, he's playing from Australia, saying he's playing about like 120 ping. And they're still picking him the Mars, though. They're still saying, like, hey, you know, I have a skill shot here. It's fine. You'll figure it out. And he is doing, you know, he's still having game impact. There have been a couple of missteps, but, you know, you can definitely forgive that a lot of the time. Positioning, maybe not so much. You know, we've seen some interesting games from him on the Mars where he's been caught out. But I think that kind of comes down to the fact where he's not looking to be this predator who's constantly looking to make these plays happen, because he knows that unless he's got someone to help him in the actual engagements,
what's the worst ping for you, Black, by the way?
The worst ping?
Yeah. I mean,
ever?
No, overall the worst situation for you to be in with bad ping.
Okay.
Maybe some tournament qualifiers or something.
Okay, so I mean, it was back in Dota 1 when everybody played G Arena. We played from Europe.
Tunnel me, please.
We played in the
Tunnel
Chinese
me, host.
tournament. So we had 250 ping.
Yeah.
And obviously it was unplayable.
Yeah, that's
and we never played again.
That's
like on a Chinese tournament. But overall, Europe to US West is pretty rough. It's like 150, 160 ping.
Yep.
To US East is completely fine. It's like 80 ping. But just generally, you know, when you play in like your home country, in your home region, it's like 50, 40, 50.
Yeah, that's normal.
Yeah. And I mean, in SCA, I play on 2 ping every day.
Damn.
Because like,
Your
I
server
live
is
in
your
Singapore.
house?
No, Singapore
The
has
server
the
is in your
server.
building, yeah?
Basically, yeah. Like Singapore is very small, and the server is based in Singapore.
I see.
It's like 2 ping every game. I play these pucks in Walker Storms, no problem.
Do you know where the building is, though?
I do not.
Oh, that's
Valve
a shame.
did not want to disclose that information. Probably scared that I would go there.
You could probably use that to your advantage as well. You know?
Game's going
Game
badly,
going
you know,
bad.
just pause, run down the street, lob a chair through the window. Like,
And
there we
was
go.
this building? Oh,
Yeah.
MMR saved.
Poor network conditions detected. Easy.
Why does Black, every time he loses, why is the server crashing?
You would be on Reddit within 5 days.
Yeah.
That's
I
pretty
mean,
much
there's a
it.
lot of detectives out there. So.
There's many detectives out there. I actually had a couple of games 2 days ago. Same player against me, and suddenly he's losing. There's high ping in the game, and then on Reddit 2 days after, I see some detective found him and he's posting his games.
Yeah. It happens all the time.
You can't cheat in this game, man. Like, you
can't get away.
You might be able to cheat, but you can't get away.
The community is to try hard.
Reminds me of the Arkosh situation as well, where you know they believe that they have found the carry player because certain BSJ's item slots match up perfectly with the carry player of Arkosh's item slots.
And
so,
also,
you know, the
he never streamed
detectives.
when they had an official game, stuff like that.
Yeah, they're on the case. They got the mics off, but of course we can't confirm or deny anything over here.
Not.
But we are into the draft for game number 1 of TNC Predator versus 496 Gaming. So let's get into it. Of course, remembering that 496 are playing with a stand-in for this very important game. It says a lot. It really does say a lot.
What did we say about the patch, by the way?
Not going to change anything? Yeah, exactly the same.
We said a lot about the patch changes. We said a lot about this puck and Earthshaker being nerfed, but yeah, they just get banned out. 496, they do ban out quite a bit of puck and Kotal even before.
But you have no chance to really test it, right? Like, how much does this change really impact the game? They probably don't know because they just didn't have a chance to really practice or figure it out.
But Shaker wasn't really top of the meta, the top pick before the shard, right? Like before the shard, that ulti just isn't what it used to be. It doesn't carry the same oomph. And now when you take away the shard because of which it was picked, it's going to be rough.
It is. But at least, you know, TNC adjusting their bans because there's no Bombi, no Winter ban, no Phoenix ban, but instead they ban Hustler's Earth Spirit, which is really strong, and Red's Nature's Prophet, which they've been doing very well with. Yeah,
definitely 2 big comfort picks for 496 have been taken out of the draft here. The ones got left, of course, are Mars and Disruptor, and 2 high contestion pool heroes.
Yeah, I mean, we'll have to see what they combo with that Earthshaker, because Prophet is really one of the best heroes. They can just stand alone in lane, and the Shaker can just start roaming around.
A lot of these heroes even nerfed, right? Like Nature's Prophet, like you mentioned, that they banned it, but Still
Beastmaster taking another pool.
Disruptor, Shaker.
I like Disruptor a lot versus the Mirana 4. If Mirana is 4, because you don't have to trade with her that much. One Thunderstrike, the kitty is already on like 50% HP.
OD.
OD Mirana, okay.
Very good against Disruptor, of course. You're just Astral, and the Glimpse is nullified. And of course, also
Didn't
the
they change
combination.
Ooh. No, they changed it the other way. Never mind.
The other way, yeah.
You don't get the Glimpse back anymore.
Yeah,
so
yeah, you don't get the glimpse
you,
back, so
you can
it's
just save.
But
Yeah.
somehow Storm gets Glimpse back when he ults. Who knows why? Inconsistencies in Dota 2. Who knew?
well, Storm isn't banished whenever he's...
Yeah, but he's
ulted.
also invulnerable, right? I mean, it's
Yeah, but he's not banished. It's the mechanic is banished, which
sure.
Shadow Demon and
He's out of this
Puck and-
world. You can't take him back if he's not even in the realm.
How does
He's-
Book
he
of
is in the
Shadows
realm.
work
He's
then?
traveling in his ball lightning.
How does Book
No,
of
I'm
Shadows
talking
work
about
then?
OD.
Oh,
when he
yeah,
banishes
you're right. Sorry.
Book of Shadows is a banish too, right?
No.
No, you're.
But I mean, the item literally says it's banished.
Yeah,
so-
your body is there, but your spirit is in a different world.
So you can't get hurt.
So you can't get hurt, yeah,
Yeah.
but you're still there.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Same aside Dark Willow when she's a Shadow Realm, right?
The particles
Just
are there,
bullet.
but they're not touchable. Let's put it that way.
So you're like in an
Interesting.
eternal realm.
Getting into some theoretical physics now.
Doctor Strange.
So that's what everyone wants to listen to in their morning streams.
Morning 496 versus TNC Predator
Yeah.
stream. So the particle of...
I wonder if they're going to add quantum physics to Dota.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen-
Ant-Man.
eventually, Dota has never been considered as one of the easier games.
Yeah.
So I believe that quantum physics should definitely be added in the next few years.
And there should be a mini game every time. Like an arrow is about to hit, it has to be like a mini game, and
Yeah.
the Mirana has to get that mini game right, or the arrow just
Yeah, it's
disappears.
it's not the Schrodinger's cat, it's the Mirana's cat. Is it there? Is
The
it not?
Schrodinger's arrow. Just
Or
don't look.
Schrodinger's
Don't
arrow,
look,
yeah,
and you
yeah.
probably hit it. You know, you don't know, but
Yeah.
A lot of
You-
potential for upcoming Dota games, of
It's
course.
all about the observer. It's all about the observer in the upcoming, because that's all what quantum physics is about. As
Yeah,
long as you
true.
don't observe the system,
it
There
you
is
don't
no
know.
changes
sense.
its
You
behavior.
don't change it. Yeah.
True.
So every spectator, every watcher of our games is going to have his own Dota game.
Yeah, yeah. And if you're observing the game, it changes. You know, the arrow could miss if you're watching it, but if you look away,
Yeah.
then it could hit, because that's the way
How,
physics be.
how is betting going to work? In my game, I win. Everyone can be a winner.
Everyone wins.
Yeah, and everyone loses.
And everyone loses.
Yeah.
All right, let's dig ourselves out of this hole. We got a couple of bans coming out from 496. They're going to get rid of the Troll, the PL, and the Wraith King. Meanwhile, TNC, they're going to throw out the Naga Siren, I believe it's a Lycan, and the Morphling.
Yep, the Lycan actually unexpectedly for me banned by TNC. I wanted them to get it, to grab it. They played it on the offlane, on safe lane too. But okay, they ban it out. They go with the Beastmaster, gives you some vision. What does this mean for the OD? Are they
Mid.
100% putting him mid?
Yeah.
But he's been also nerfed quite a bit. It's not...
Yeah, Odie's not as strong, but
Yeah.
he's still very strong.
Yeah.
His base stats, you know, were rectified a little bit, but they're still too high.
You're still buying Meteor Hammer, you're still setting
Same
up kills
thing.
with that. Yeah.
Your Astral now has 30 mana cost more. Damn. That could be a game-breaking change right
Very
there.
interesting Kunkka pick though.
Mm.
So you can cleave all the beasts from Beastmaster.
But you're not putting Kunkka safe lane, right?
I would
Hopefully.
assume not, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, later on in the game you can kind of deal with the push, help out a little bit. The boat is always very valuable in these early game engagements. Your team fight on 496 is looking pretty solid at the moment.
It's quite bad against OD though. Same thing. X mark, you got Astral.
Yep.
You're also out of the X mark. And it's not hard to do, you know. It's like 4 seconds, 4 seconds. It's like, yeah. And we'll see. So far, I like TNC's draft quite a bit better. They have stronger lanes.
Yeah, I'm not sure about this Kunkka pick, honestly. I really don't know. I mean, if it's going mid again, doesn't it just get bullied by OD?
It does. I mean, OD just gets his Ring of Health. Suddenly he has like 13 health regen. His Typebringer Harris doesn't do much. He has very high armor to begin with. And, I mean, Shaker in general, I don't really see a great laning partner for him to be able to really contest the Tusk +1.
This task, like 90% is 5. I wouldn't
Yeah.
mind seeing him on offlane as well with the Beastmaster.
Yeah.
Mirana Beast is also very, very solid though.
I mean, and Tusk, I mean, Mirana safe lane is like pretty.
Pretty, yeah, no, underwhelming. That's true.
That's what my pos 5s do when they're mad. They just grieve the game.
With Mirana 5s,
Yeah.
it's doable.
It's like people
if you
picking
wanna
Pudge
switch the
5.
lanes. Yeah.
Like they don't want to play support, so I understand.
Okay, so Pudge
That
5
guy's run out of roll queue
like,
games.
as well. Pudge 5 right now for me, I'd rather see it than Pudge 4. In my game, if I have a Pudge, I'd rather see it on
Because you're
position
playing
5.
offlane though.
No, not only that, but because
Not only that, but mostly.
the lane is
course.
better for him. Like you can actually hook someone under the tower, which is kinda alright. And also, you have a 5 Pudge. It's better to have a useless position 5 than a useless position 4. So there's also that.
Diplomatic?
Yeah.
Diplomatic?
Hustler looks pretty down today. He used to be a very cheerful guy.
He lost Bombi.
What
He's not
happened
with
in
them
the last
anymore.
week?
His
guys.
friend. He's lonely.
Okay, this used to.
Oh,
Oh wait,
look at
so this
that.
is a core Rubik.
It's a
Right.
mid Rubik, maybe offlane Kunkka, possibly.
Yeah, that should be it.
I mean, Rubik against Odie is one of the best heroes, of course, right now. You can see that Astral. You have the better Astral. But still, like...
This doesn't have to be core Rubik. They still have an option to make it a core Shaker too, but...
Yeah, they could offlane the Shake, yeah. I like the core Rubik though, you know, I'm kind of down with it. We'll see what direction they want to go in, but...
It's possible, but... I mean, we'll see.
Doesn't feel that great versus Tusk overall. You
Yeah.
have this hero that gets on top of you, sets up for everyone else to follow up on the Rubik. But Black's point is really legit, and it's one of my favorite counters to the OD. Just stealing his imprisonment and using it on everyone. If you get that tags, even better. So
I feel like if TNC just picks like a PA now or some sort of assassin, it's going to be so hard for 496 to play though. They don't really have any saves. Their lanes are not as strong. Kunkka Shaker doesn't strike me as great.
and that's what we're seeing on the offlane, right? Kunkka Shaker.
Yeah, like
Possibly.
if it's Rubik Shaker,
Yeah.
it's still very awkward.
Yeah, okay, so Kunkka will not do a lot there, but he will bring some utility to them, I suppose. You have the Shaker to block your creep wave or their creep wave, perhaps creep skip. You won't be pressuring on that lane, though. You shouldn't be winning it at all.
Yeah.
Hero.
I would just like to see some assassin type of hero. Like, I think PA comes to mind. Rubik hates playing against PA, Disruptor hates playing against PA.
Yeah.
I mean, even Shaker, you know, Tusk plus PA is a super strong lane. You get the attack speed buff with the tag team. It just seems so much easier for TNC to play Dota right now.
Their draft is way more straightforward, but I kind of like that 496 are trying to do something different, to try and put some snowballs out there, some curveballs out there, because it's just like we know that if the drafts kind of go 50-50 and you know we can see everything right in front of us, that roadmap is obvious. You know, 496 play without Bombi, they're gonna get crushed. Like I don't think there's much of a chance for them if they go down that route. But if they try and shake things up a little bit, maybe this is what they need, that extra X factor. Maybe this is 458 coming in and they're just saying like, hey buddy, like, you know, we're in a rough place here. Do what you want, you know, we're in your hands.
It's possible, but I don't see a good carry pick for 496 now. Maybe Terrorblade or something? Mars? Or they play without carry? Also works.
There's no good carry pick, so we're
this
just not
is
going to
the
pick
Kunkka
one.
carry.
Carry, yeah.
Kunkka carry, offlane Mars.
They're definitely testing something else out. Maybe they've read different sort of patch notes that we haven't. Maybe patch notes like, you know, sometimes you click the link and then you scroll somehow and you click on a patch 7.0 or something. And then you go 2 years back when Kunkka was actually good and you read those patch notes because you don't have a lot of time. Remember, patch notes came out 4 or 5 hours ago. You find yourself in a difficult position in which you get a Kunkka carry and then you realize, oh shit,
So
this ain't it. It's not the patch.
Monkey King and you win or what?
Happen. Yeah, pretty much.
It's looking pretty good if they pick Monkey King, but I don't know. I know my TNC. They might be thinking of something more creative.
No, they picked Monkey before as well, and this looks like a very solid Monkey King
Alright, so
game.
Rubik at least beats OD in lane.
Alchemist.
I mean, that's also very good. Like,
Yeah.
they have 0 carries of 496. Shaker Mars cannot pressure an Alchemist. OD is...
All right, so Hung Hung is on the Rubik, which
Yeah, it's a mid Rubik.
He's going to be going
Carry
to
Kunkka.
the middle and carry Kunkka. Is that what they picked?
Yep.
Yep.
Well,
I mean, it can work. They can win the early game, you know, but
All right,
Like, they have to
guys.
snowball so hard.
You consider yourselves to be men. You know, you go to the gym.
You consider yourself...
You're classic men, right?
Men.
Go for 496, you cowards. Predictions.
Classic man? Okay, I'm a classic man.
Man.
But I don't have to be stupid as well, considering the
We're
draft.
Kind of goes hand in hand.
No,
Okay.
we're
Does
smart
it?
classic
We're
men.
not meatheads. Like we're more. Help me out here. What are we? We're
Sophisticated.
sophisticated. Exactly. We're
Sophisticated meatheads. All right, my
Exactly.
sophisticated meatheads. Give me a prediction then. What are we going for?
And why is it Fnatic?
TNC. You mean?
At TNC. Right?
Why is it Fnatic? That is what I would ask. if
Okay,
it's just
listen.
Fnatic.
I'm going with TNC because my heart is broken. I'm weeping big Bombi tears.
He's
Big
weeping.
Bombi
There's no
tears.
Bombi. I'm going with TNC.
Alrighty. Black.
I mean, it's a hard carry patch without hard carry. What do? I'm going TNC as well.
Yeah.
Damn it. All right, well, yeah, I'm going TNC as well, unfortunately. I don't practice what I preach, and I'm not a lunatic, so I voted for TNC. Let's see if any of our casters are brave enough to go against the tide. We're going to throw it over a bit, but first, have we had any of these nerfed here? I mean, OD's been nerfed. Maybe that's going to come into effect.
Yeah, the OD being nerfed
What
also.
got nerfed? 1 armor, 5 movement speed.
He's playing versus Rubik mid though. That will come into the effect.
Rubik is good. Rubik is actually good against OD.
Yeah, for
like
sure,
the lane
definitely.
is not bad. You can
Okay,
outrange
okay.
him. You get all the range creeps with your bolt. And you can't get harassed as easily by the arcane orb. So the lane there is good, but the off lane seems bad.
Just explain to me this Kunkka carry, Black. You like to pick heroes that are a little bit out there.
I mean, it's just to counter the Beastmaster. It's really good against Beastmaster in lane. It's just like, how does it transition to mid lane?
And
Like
then
if-
you end up with the Kunkka carry. What do
Yeah,
you buy?
that-
Radiance?
I mean, I think
Go
you just
for
go like these like
Halberd,
Daedalus,
Radiance,
like,
yeah.
or like Armlet Daedalus or something.
Alright.
Like you
One
go
shot
for this
build.
one-shot build.
Yeah.
But
Make Reddit front page.
yeah,
Easy.
but an Alchemist has like 5 timings. You have like 1.
Yeah.
And that 1 timing, you need to be able to hit something, but the boss is going to slow you. And I don't know.
Do they have the team fight potential? You have the Disruptor, the Shaker. There is some options
There is
there. Yeah,
potential.
potential is there.
It's just they have so much save with Snowball and Astral. I feel like all their tools
But-
are already countered.
The scary thing for me is that it looks like TNC have pretty weak lanes, right? Like,
Yeah.
OD's going to struggle. Beastmaster's going to struggle. The Alks should be okay. What we've seen from
But you
TNC
can pressure
previously
up.
is that they've struggled in the early game. And by the way, we do have a pause. We're just waiting to sort some things out, so that's why we're not jumping into the
We
game
have
right now.
seen we have
We're
seen
not
some
just
games. We have seen some games in which Alchemist just gets crushed and then he's ran across the map. He's trying to find his Battle Fury and he can't.
But there shouldn't be one of them though, because like a Shaker Mars lane in theory should really not be able to pressure an Alchemist at all. Like Alchemist task is completely fine there. Even though I said OD doesn't dominate the lane, you know, he's still gonna farm. He's gonna get his own farm because he will get all the range creep with the orb, with the Astral. So he will still have his Meteor Hammer timing. And Beastmaster, is it actually that bad against Kunkka is what I'm wondering. Because these boars are a nuisance either way.
I was when I said that Kunkka is good versus Beast, I was mostly thinking later on a little bit.
mid-game,
Yeah,
right?
mid game when he's pushing, you can deal with the pushes. You have the boat, you have the cleave damage, obviously. But in the laning stage itself, Beast should do fine. Like he should be alright.
Yeah, like,
But-
the boars are strong.
But
They have nerfed the boars. They
30
nerfed the
movement
boars
speed
by
less.
30 movement speed
Really?
at level 1,
Yeah.
20
that
movement
one I
speed at level
missed.
2.
But they still have more than Kunkka, so.
Yeah.
I don't know why they had 350 level 1 to begin with. That's
you
Pretty
couldn't
crazy.
escape. You couldn't run away pretty much.
Yeah.
Even they're on top.
And base attack speed of Beastmaster also reduced by 10 as well. So
I don't know whether that was ever changed. Good. Things are going back to normal. I like that a lot.
One thing that I dislike about some patching mechanics that we have in the game is when a hero gets over buffed, let's say you get a hero that's changed, right? You buff him up and then you take away all his buffs, but then you revert him to the worst position that he was ever in, like the Batrider that just happened with his nerfs. Or Enchantress, it happened once. Like you take away all her damage talents, you buff her in a different way, and then you take away all those buffs, and then you end up with a creep.
But previously, you already nerfed something else. Like
Yeah.
Bad Rider, his Napalm used to do more per
Yeah,
stack.
exactly.
Now it's less per stack, and it's back to the bad state. So,
So he's
so he's nerfed more than before, even.
exactly.
Yeah, it's,
So are we expecting anyone to be picking Bat, or is that hero just not playable right now?
Bat is like the only reason why he was so strong in mid lane is no matter what you put there, he's gonna farm because every napalm stack makes it easy to last hit. But now every napalm stack is 3 damage. It's ridiculously low.
It's very, very small.
Yeah, like
Poor guy.
I will have to see how much it impacts him. I feel like it's so hard to play him now. All the jungle creeps take 50% less damage from napalm as well. You can't farm ancients anymore. It's just overall a super huge nerf.
You can't jungle, you can't lane. The thing is, you aren't even going for that blink rush build that you used to go for.
You go for this BKBs now.
BKB and travels aren't an option because they're going to come way too late as you don't have the farming potential any longer.
That being said, though, people always figure out something to make the hero work just because of how Lasso works. You pull them out of the team. It's always going to be a strong mechanic, for sure. But just on paper right now, it looks very, very weak.
Yeah, I thought we were going to see more shard action, actually, from the Batrider when he was popular. I was kind of interested to see if people would start playing him as a 4, maybe, you know, pick up that shard. The save was really nice. We saw it happen a couple of times. But it does look like we are back into the game. So we're going to throw it straight across to the casters to get into game number 1, TNC versus 496 Gaming. Take it away, BQ and Lacoste.
Thank you so much, Nomad. Here, game number 1, TNC 496. Our predictions, TNC?
Yeah, for sure. I don't know what the 496 is trying to do with this kind of a draft.
Right.
They have no carry. Like, you don't have late game at all. Like, Kunkka, Mars, they don't scale. This is something that Team Secret did when they played against the Beastmaster. I remember Nisha playing safe lane Kunkka against the Beast, you know, to deal with the boars.
30 seconds.
But 496, they're not Team Secret, let's be real here. So maybe they're trying to take a page out of their book, you know, see what's going to happen. Certain matchups work well. Also, they are missing their position 5 player, Bombi, who was, you know, kind of their best player, I would say.
Yeah. We've talked about Bombi with such praise, even despite the fact that they're towards the bottom of the table. So, you know, we always think that Bombi is definitely a playmaker for this team. And when you lose a big key to that, you know, it's very interesting to see how a team will react. They've got a lot on their plate right now with balance change, and then you've got Bombi who's not here. It could definitely throw things for a loop, and I honestly wouldn't be surprised if TNC kind of move fast and take the game pretty quickly if they're on top, right?
Yeah, like this Alchemist could just easily pop off.
Yeah.
We've seen it so many times. It's also Earthshaker Mars into Alchemist. Like, it's 4 melee, something we usually don't see. Just battling against each other. Like, support is pretty weak. Position 5 task, I'm personally not a big fan of. Like, you can see TNC, they're playing aggressive on the bottom lane with Alchemist having a Grievel's Greed level 1.
And use that Grievel's Greed, do what you can, and just obviously farm up. Seeing yourself already at only 1 NO for the moment. But I'm interested to see how Gabby does if we do see that pop off on the timing. You've got 4-5-8 on the Kunkka top. I mean, this draft looked really weird from 496. That's going to really mix me up. 4-5-8, 4-5, 4-9-6.
A lot of numbers.
Yeah. We already know math is not our strong suit here. Not that it's addition or anything, but we'll see how 4-5-8 does.
KP starting with the Wild Axis instead of getting a Boar. Boar got nerfed, movement speed from 350 to 320. So 30 movement speed less. Like, we're doing math still, you know. The easy one. If it's something more complicated, I'm just not going to do it.
Yeah. I'll try to leave it to chat to do my math for me. Just like, you know, I used to do in high school. I used to let the person next to me do the math and then just cheat off their answers. Very easy way to get A's. Especially when the person
and
to
that's why
is,
you're here and not, you know, having a real job.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's definitely one of the reasons, for sure. But is there... Do you see this being like the standard change for Beastmaster, waiting on that boar?
I think he just wants to shut down Beastmaster because they picked Kunkka to deal with the boar, and KP's like, well, I'm not going to get the boar.
Right.
So he's just saving a point. I think you get Boar on level 3, possibly. You don't necessarily. You can just save skill points. See how that's gonna go. Because Beastmaster right now, he's farming well. He has pretty much same amount of CS as Kunkka.
Shards out onto red. God's Rebuke, but the body blocks. Ooh, good fissure, but we'll keep him alive as the spear hits on a Febby. So they end up stopping that first blood from happening on the Mars, but that's not the first time that they have been able to...
That was a weird interaction. Like,
ooh, Hung?
Spear should connect on Fisher.
That's what I thought, right?
Like
it's
he
hit before.
Went over, yeah. Hung gonna mid lane. Rubik against the matchup that we did not talk about. Like, Rubik is an okay mid laner. Like, he puts a lot of pressure with the Fate Bolt. He scales with the levels. And it's a good matchup for him against the OD. He gets a better Astral, but yeah, he seems...
Hustler? First blood onto Hung.
Okay. I was afraid because, you know, Arcane Orb also got nerfed in the previous patch. Level 1.
Yeah.
Is now 6-second cooldown. Before it was level 4. And now he's rushing that Meteor Hammer. Pretty standard stuff.
Max out that Astral Imprisonment, go to the Meteor Hammer. We've got X, they'll bring Tim's back, but the arrow hits onto Dat BB. Must be such a change for Dat BB in the change in position.
Double damage.
Yeah, you're suddenly playing position 5.
Yeah. I thought I was carrying this team. Now I am carrying this team.
You can carry from
5.
position 5. I mean, it's a good thing, you know, when you're playing carry, you know what your position 5 needs to do.
Yeah.
So you kind of understand what the role is. So I don't think like the transition is too hard, because you just need to think like, what would my carry want me to do, and then you just do those things.
Yeah, if I was in this situation, what would I want? So, you know, it's not the... We've seen some switches like this before. I believe, like, Sylar played a little bit in the 5 position. That didn't last too long the last time I saw it, though. It was only, like,
Sylar was like,
games.
can I play position 5 Lycan? Probably not. I'll just play carry instead.
Yeah, it did go something like that. I think he played, like, Bane one game, and then it was immediately, like, they were done with it.
Bounty.
But TNC up 1,000 net worth, no
Gabby?
surprise. Gabby
I think
on
that's
the
the
wrong
wrong
side of the
way.
map. Spear lands, and they've got the Thunder Strike. It will be a kill for red. Gabby found in the wrong spot. And
He lost
pays
his
for
compass
it.
there. Like,
Yeah.
he was trying to pick up a bounty rune, very greedy, you know.
He was going north. He was using that compass, always pointing north. And then he got
Jack
pushed north.
Sparrow's compass. Well, we have a pirate in this game.
Oh, Kunkka, eh?
Yeah, so maybe he stole Kunkka's.
Compass.
Probably. Kunkka's getting closer to level 6 once you get that ton of kill potential. And the X-Mark, Glimpse, like these abilities, when these abilities are good against each other, like Glimpse against the X-Mark, but when they're paired up together, you need to have a good vision to be able to utilize them. Their heroes are not very good at, you know, just providing vision. They don't have that, like, real front. Yeah, so you have Mars, but he's not very speedy early on, doesn't rotate that much. Astral by Hung. So yeah, for Rubik, pretty much, you want to keep that Astral most of the time. Like, possibly Roar, maybe Arrow,
Right.
but Astral is just your spell to go to throughout this whole game, because you have a better Astral.
One of the better skills that you can steal for sure in this game. So we'll see as Hung, he hit level 6. You've got level 7 right now for Armel. He's kind of just about a full level ahead of Hung. Wow. So we'll see if anybody comes over mid, waiting to use that Meteor Hammer to potentially kill this Rubik. They do have now the Tusk coming over as he's stolen Astral Imprisonment once again.
Just wanted to steal level 4 Astral.
Has the level 4 Astral. Maybe Hung could build a Meteor Hammer of his own, right? You know, get yourself the combo coming through.
Big brain.
Primal Roar comes in as well as the Ghost Ship, but it looks like both the Beastmaster and Mirana Tims and KP will survive. Astro Imprisonment, though, they find themselves Gabby, and you look at the damage coming in real quick from Hung and Hustler. They'll finally bring over Armel, and we'll use that Sanities to blow up Hustler, go after Hung, trying to get 2, Snowball to save the Tusk's life. That'll finally hit onto the Rubik, who throws an Astro Imprisonment out.
He threw Astral on a wrong hero.
Oh, and cliffs him! All right,
But,
a little
you know,
Arteezy cosplay.
He threw Astral on the wrong hero, but he threw the correct hero with his telekinesis on top. So yeah, not too bad.
So he's going to snowball and pull him in, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there it is.
Radiant's bottom tower
50
is
seconds
under
left on that TP. You better hope he can pull this move off.
Alchemist, you know, he died twice. He got contested in the jungle. Now he's on the mid lane. Maybe he needs to be in a triangle, because triangle feels much safer right now. They have decent heroes to rotate, like mid Rubik. Like your spells are maxed out. Fate Bolt plus Astral deals a ton of damage. You have Earthshaker who can go in. Kanka possibly to deal with the stacks.
So, since they've killed Alchemist twice, are you missing a timing here? Because I know Black said you've got like 5 timings as an Alchemist, but are you missing this timing by a lot?
Every single time like Alchemist dies, it feels much worse than other heroes because he gets so much more gold. But they're still okay getting, you know, gonna say closer to Battle Fury, but needs 3-4 minutes not being touched in the jungle to finish it.
Right.
Dire are scanning.
Tim's over bottom. You've got Hustler taking some experience mid. He wants to get to that level 6. Gabby's also shown up. And you can see he's only level 6, and Hustler, he's getting really close to his own level 6.
Radiant's bottom tower
So the experience not exactly there either for Gabby. Tim's potentially waiting on throwing an arrow here. Astro Imprisonment still there for the Rubik. KP moving forward and thinks about jumping on to 4-5-8. Brought over a second in the OD, and they'll use that Meteor Hammer, put some pressure on the Tier 1 top, boars and all.
Radiant's bottom tower
And just trying to trade towers if they can, but not exactly that easy with 4-5-8 coming over. Just defending.
They're respecting the boat. There's so much damage. Kanka is actually super leveled. He's level 9, cleared a couple of stacks in the jungle.
Glimpse, and now the spear coming through onto the Tusk. They should have the kill on a Febby. It's a Fade Bolt to finish, and he also steals shards. So, another kill here for 496. They're looking all right to start this one off. This isn't exactly as one-sided as maybe we would have thought.
I'm just, you know, looking at this draft. They're supposed to do well at the early stages. I'm just worried how they're going to transition. They don't have tower damage. That's also my biggest, pretty much the biggest concern, because it doesn't allow you to play fast. Your lineup is good. You have a lot of stuns. You can keep fighting. But at one point, you just hit the wall where you, like, what do we do right now? We can't kill the towers. You don't have that here. Even if you, like, take the Roche, there's going to still be high ground defense with the Astral, with the Acid Spray. Even if you're, like, 10,000 gold ahead, let's say 20 minutes in, TNC with this type of a lineup have a chance of coming back. But, you know, TNC right now, 1k gold lead. Alchemist just needs 600, actually 400 gold more to finish off his Battle Fury. Then the farming starts.
And he's got himself a quad stack of Ancients to go after.
And needs to be careful about that one, because there's a ward scouting it out. If he decides to farm it, they could easily rotate with the Kunkka.
He gets caught. Static Storm, Kinetic Field with the fissure there. They've got the lockdown. They'll use the Echo Slam. Not sure it was needed, but gets you the kill regardless, and KP drops
just
everything to Tier 1 tower.
Dominance. You know, you throw every spell. We don't care about those.
They got another stack on that Ancient stack. Quintuple. It's a lot of Ancients that he's going to be ready to take with that Battle Fury.
They need to protect him. He needs to have another hero just with him there in case they decide to go in. Stack being pinged out. Let's see if they have a smoke. No Echo, no Static Storm. Kunkka is farming his Ancients, so I don't know if they can contest this.
Yeah, he's already taken a majority of the stack. Coming over, it's a little bit late. Febby spots that BB. And you just see...
Whenever you say that BB, I'm like, where is that Bristleback? Where is that guy?
I was thinking more so BB-8.
Not sure what that is.
Droid from Star Wars, the new one? Or the new trilogy?
No, I didn't watch it. I'm only watching the good movies, sorry.
True.
So yeah, Beastmaster almost Necro 3 done. Smoke from 496. Earthshaker's actually extremely farmed. He has mana boots and
almost
just
Blink Dagger,
400
wow.
gold away from a Blink Dagger.
Because we've always talked about that timing with the
Oh,
Arcane
baby
boots
god.
first.
Broke
Yeah.
the smoke.
This is fine to
He's
tank
good.
this gank.
I don't think you need to commit the Static Storm.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
So
yeah, Febby breaking the smoke, doing better than you would expect. You died there, but one big ulti committed and a smoke. Kind of worth it.
I will say, I expected maybe more from Armel earlier on when he got this Meteor Hammer. Did he feel a little gun-shy giving away Astral Imprisonment so much to the Rubik? And
it's tough. It's really tough. Play OD into Rubik because he can stop your Meteor Hammer. He can use it on his allies to save them. So we're not going to see like the full potential. Arrow actually
mid.
hits and Mars is turned around. But there's the Astral.
Yeah, that on top of the fact that they went over towards top and they're looking to get the kill here onto the Kunkka. 458 will use the Ghost Ship. They smoked for this, and at the end of the day, they don't get it. So, I mean, they had 496 split. 458 was by himself, and they can't get the kill with 3 heroes up towards top.
Both of these teams have a lot of saves. Astral, Tusk Snowball, like you can place Arena, Fisher, Stolen Astral. So we might see fights that last for 30 seconds and like no one dies.
Right.
Earthshaker has a Blink Dagger. I'm not sure if they have any smokes left because they already used the 2 in the last few minutes. Okay, Disruptor has 1.
Arena down, Primal Roar, Static Storm that's on top of the Beastmaster. Shards will come in and block out the side of 496.
What a block.
Astral Imprisonment through onto the Mars. And they will have another right click, but the Fissure and Sanity's committed as they get the kill onto Red.
But that was such a good play from Febby.
Got that kill, and now looking over is 458 as well as Hung. Febby. Arrow comes in, Snowball out. Febby with the Walrus Punch on a 458. Let's see. Oh, Echo Slam committed with the Ghost Ship coming in. Armel gone to 458. They're looking for more. They've got the X. Can they time this right? Leap away. Totem not there, but they've got the glimpse. So many ways to pull people back.
He used all of his leap charges there, and they got Febby as well.
Wow, Febby came in and ends up dead too.
458 actually just cleaved him. So Kunkka, yeah, he didn't discuss his item build. Has Haven's Halberd working towards Daedalus. Like, you need to be able to scale because this is carry Kunkka, and yeah, you need some damage items. Also, yeah, Beastmaster summons, they have so many ways to deal with them. Like Mars God's Rebuke, like Fisher, and of course the Cleave.
And this is... it's still a 3k lead for 496, right? Like, that's... Sanity's used on Gabby from Hung. Now the Arena. They are really trying to kill this Alchemist.
He's out. Torrent and the Spear. It gets you on top, so you actually get out. Same thing happens with the Tiny Toss.
Yeah, they're going in with the Snowball coming through. They've got shards in front of both these heroes. Now they look over at Hung. They've got the kill onto the Rubik. And look over as 458 is still trying to put some damage out, but eventually realizes that he really might need to run. Instead, though, Febby caught between the Mars as well as the Kunkka. They've got the Astral Imprisonment out on a 458. Febby dies, Red follows, and now Kunkka trying to get the kill on Armel, and with the Torrent hitting, he will. They also took out Tim's with that cleave. Triple kill for 458.
This Kunkka is actually massive. Look at him cleaving off the neutral crimps.
Oh, KP.
X, Ultra,
Fissure,
where's the Rampage?
Kill.
Okay. You know, they're doing the job. This is where their lineup is strong. Like, mid-game, I'm not sure if they can transition their lineup into late game. Let's see that one again.
They start to go for Gabby, and
The beautiful Dota interactions. Torrent, boop,
yeah, just
jumps
as he's
and,
getting
yeah.
pushed back, it hits him and pushes him
I
over.
feel like it happens every single time when there's also Tiny in game.
Yeah, that I think Walrus Punch too. We've seen that a
Yeah,
couple times.
yeah.
Snowball comes across 3 heroes. That was really nice. They get on top of Hung, but Hung's not their issue. It's 4-5-8, and he is outputting a lot of damage. He thinks about retreating. Doesn't have a lot of mana to work with, but this position for TNC, not the best. These kinetic fields, the fissures, just disrupting where they can move and play around this fight. And well, 4-5-8, the Cleave doesn't care about kinetic field or fissure.
He's very close to full dataless.
Wow. Skunka's becoming a real problem, and they need to really slow him down or shut him down. There's been a couple of spears that Red has, like, not missed because not of him.
Just say what it is. He missed them.
No, you know, that spear Torrent, that's not his fault.
Like,
And then the spear that didn't connect
whose
to the
fault
fissure.
is it? If you're Mars, who do you blame? Like, do you blame it on yourself?
I don't think
Do
you blame
say,
it on
like,
anybody,
Man,
you
Kanka,
just-
why are you using Torrent? Are you not aware of how it interacts with my spell?
You blame it on Ice Frog.
Sure.
Don't upset anybody on your team. He's not there to defend himself. You just blame Ice Frog. Over mid, trying to take the tier 1 mid.
Radiant structures are fortified.
As they'll use the glyph. Almost a BKB for Mars. And, man, Earthshaker. Hustle has so much farm. 5,300 net worth already. Aether Lens and Shard queued up. Good shards. And now the Arena. Arrow with the Walrus Punch. They've got a lot on top of the Echo
Good
Slam
echo.
comes in. Astral Imprisonment on the Gabby. The Promo Roar is going to come through onto the Earthshaker. Hustler, he's in some trouble with the BKB being popped by Gabby. They'll get the kill onto the Earthshaker. Take a 1-for-1. Almost looked really good for 496. And I just think that they needed a little bit more commitment. And they might have been able to come out really on top on that. The Astral Imprisonment, though, that does save Gabby and allows him to get his BKB off.
They're still defending this tier 1 tower. Okay. They're like, yeah, we should go back. No Mars Arena, no both. I was worried for 496 that they're going to go in and maybe throw the lead. I'm calling it the lead, even though it's a 3k gold lead for TNC, but
Right.
it's an Alchemist lineup, so you expect them to be ahead.
Yeah, it's always that misleading net worth in an Alchemist game.
He's not that far, you know,
Dire's
4k
structures are fortified.
behind
Radiant's
on
middle
Kanka.
tower has
That's
been
okay-ish, you
denied.
know.
That's not bad when you've got Halberd Daedalus. Like, I think you're in a good spot. And experience-wise, he's ahead by 2 levels above that Alchemist. So he's fine with that. Carmel potentially looking to go in onto Hustle, Blink, as well as the Astral Imprisonment. But here are the leaps as well as the telekinesis coming in from Hung. Well, they may have got themselves a kill here on Armel. He goes in deep. The spear connects. Static Storm committed onto this OD. Astral Imprisonment, but it's looking like the end for Armel because it's Hung's Astral Imprisonment.
Hong Kong doesn't need to complicate anything. Like, he was trying to steal an arrow from Mirana, which I mentioned, but having Astral Imprisonment all the time just feels good.
Yeah.
Like, there aren't too many good spells you can steal from Tusk. Alchemist is kind of meh. Beastmaster possibly a Roar, but Astral just feels too good.
By the way, I just want to say DapBB, he's 0-0-11.
Radiant's middle tower
He knows
is
what
under
the carry
attack.
needs, and he knows the positioning that his 5 should be playing when
Dire's bottom
they're supporting
tower
him.
is under attack.
Charging up a stun, Blink, that hits onto the Mars. They've got the Snowball Walrus Punch. You went up, but you don't come down. At least alive, that is, and Febby gets the kill on a red. Not bad at all. It was the Blink Dagger picked up for the Alchemist when he was working his way towards an AC. So it goes to the Blink Dagger instead. That's what allows him to close the gap. I believe that was the reveal on the Blink Dagger on the Alchemist.
They're inside the pit. A lot of attack speed, minus armor. Can they contest? Like, this could easily backfire. Mars is out in 10 seconds. They just need someone to scout things out, possibly a Thorin. Earthshaker has a shard, but it got nerfed in the previous patch. It's still a very good shard.
Yeah.
Aftershock, it now stuns for half the duration.
I think that's fine. It's still probably top tier shard. And definitely one that you still, by all accounts, go for.
Yeah, it's just so good.
Yeah.
Like, having an ability to stun after you use Fissure is a setup for many spells. 458, he's going in.
X to pull himself back if anybody were to come over and try and mess with the Kunkka. Now they're going to TP towards top. KP over to the side. He's got Blink Dagger. Astral Imprisonment coming through, though. And now they've got the Static Storm. They're right and ready for KP over on the side. They're locking him down, but they don't get the kill. They look over as the BKB's been popped by Gabby, going after DPC, killing him for the first time this game. Another Astral Imprisonment from Hung from such a distance away. It is such a tough task for KP to even survive.
Yeah, it's insane. The cast range with Lens and the level 15 talent. Plus you get the cast range from Arcane Supremacy. Now, this is not the cast range. When you click on Astral, it's not showing properly.
You can see it's well further than that. Yeah. So, just using that Astral, I don't even know if KP was expecting that. He's just hiding in the trees, and all of a sudden he's Astraled. Completely disrupts the fight of TNC. They do finally get a kill there onto Disruptor, 0-1 and 12.
Finally dies on position 5.
Astral Imprisonment. Just to continue to...
Whoa, that was such a big brain play from Tims. They don't have vision there, but he thought, you know, trying to guess where he came from and almost hit him with the arrow.
Maybe he could do it this time? He's nowhere near. Gabby got Swift Blink after the BKB, so still extending the time on getting this AC. Delayed it for a Blink Dagger, delays it to upgrade that Blink Dagger.
Has an Aegis, so didn't want to waste slot getting AC.
Ooh, maybe waiting for the Mars, but blinks in, goes to the backlines. The
Oh my
arena's
God,
down.
that attack speed.
They kill DPC to start. 4-5-8 finally falls. It's double kill for Gabby with BKB being popped by Red. You've got two heroes down right now, waiting for the BKB to end on Mars so they can get around him, and that's exactly what they'll do. It seems like this is the first time that he's able to get the Astral Meteor Hammer combo, as Gabby gets a triple kill and takes the life of Red.
Love the Swift Blink breakup. He has so much gold. If he invests into AC, needs to swap out possibly a BKB, and he will get Swift Blink anyway, so he just decides to get it. He's in.
Yeah, looking
Blink
for DPC, who bought back. Oh, so from 0 to 3.
That BB means that buyback. Okay.
Yes. That is true.
Fabi's doing a really good job just playing this task from position 5. He already played it before. Okay, Gabby is just getting pickups.
He's just running in. He's not scared with this Swift Blink. He just continues to run in.
And this is where the difference, you know, comes from. You had your game 4-9-6. You had your fun with the lineup. Once they get the BKBs, once Alchemist gets 5-6 slotted, it's gonna be rough.
So onto the mid-tier 2. It did look for a long while that 4-9-6, they were keeping themselves in this one.
Oh, what a play, man. What a play from 4-5-8. He X-marks himself, blinks in, uses Heaven's Halberd to disarm him so Alchemist doesn't get the last hit on tower and goes back.
Yeah.
It could have been perfect, you know. He goes in, gets the deny on tower on top of that. But, yeah, you can see that he's an extremely skilled player and just knows his stuff, like knows his Dota.
He's definitely been the shining star right now for 4-9-6 in this game. Like, he's had quite the performance, 7-1-4, only dying that one time in the previous fight. I've really liked what he's brought to the team so far, and I think, all things considered, I know they're down 12K, but 4-9-6, for the most part, have adapted well to putting DatBB from 1 to 5, losing Bombi and picking up a guy and having a balance patch the same day. Like, overall, I think it's looked pretty good from them.
496 looked the best, I would say, first 15-20 minutes of this game.
Yeah.
Throughout this whole season. Even though they're probably going to lose the game, still, there's some signs of life.
Yeah, for sure. You know, Hung's had a pretty good performance. He's 6-2-3. I've liked what he's added to the game so far. Gabby's just getting really farmed, though. 26,000 net worth. And now he's got that AC, so need to be careful dealing with this Alchemist. Going to the Moonlight Shadow, potentially here for a big push, a big fight, and maybe time to go for the high ground. Psychic Headband picked up.
Oh, he's like, yeah, give it to me straight away. Cast range, intelligence, exactly what the hero needs.
Torrent comes out, they do get the tower there. Take that bottom tier 1 and potentially going to work with this creep wave for more. Creeps run out, and Meteor Hammer just to try and clean up at least the range creep.
It's only the range creep.
It's not the laning phase. You could do more than that. All right, maybe he got the range creep. Gabby takes the rest. That's not the worst thing in the world. Paladin Sword found for 496. Specifically Hung, who cleans that one up and gets it.
Gabby already has his Paladin Sword. That item is so good. It's probably one of the best ones. Like, it gives so many things. Damage, lifesteal, amplifies region, healing, lifesteal, and spell lifesteal. Like, why? Like, it doesn't necessarily... If you remove, like, spell amplification, regeneration amplification, it would still be a good item.
Yeah, and I love that item, but I also love the Psychic Headband. I think that's my #1. Obviously, you know, it's user preference, I guess. I play a lot more heroes that utilize the Psychic Headband.
Yeah, I can feel you. Most of the time, it's position 4 or 5 item. Works well with certain mid laners.
Charging up that stun, waiting for him to come back. And he gets it. Look at that from Gabby. Right on top of 458, and the snowball comes across, hits the Kunkka, goes after DatBB. A little bit short, but they've got the blink as well as the Astral Imprisonment. They'll steal Astral Imprisonment. Telekinesis with the Fissure. Now a Totem, but no vision there for 496. That was really well done by Gabby. He saw it the entire time, knew how to position himself for the pullback. The timing's perfect. Really well done. I like that from Gabby.
Gabby struggled first like 10 minutes of the game where they pressured him so much. Now he's just all over the place. Doesn't have a BKB, needs to be a bit more careful. There's the lift. But there you have Astral, they have Snowball for the saving potential. Even Fabi, who's playing position 5, Tusk, has a Blink Dagger now, so it's going to be much easier for him to use the save.
Astral Imprisonment on the Gabby. Not much more afterwards. They're trying to siege this bottom tier 2. Primal Roar gets committed. Now they've got the BKB as well as the Spear. This hits Astral Imprisonment to save the Beastmaster. They get the kill on a DatBB, and now the stolen Primal Roar with the Echo Slam on a 3. They'll get that kill on a KP, but how much more are they going to grab from this? They look over as the Walrus Punch hits on a Hustle. They get the kill on the Earthshaker. Now they're down to just 2 heroes up against the 4 of TNC. Astral Imprisonment coming through as well as the arrow onto Red. Meanwhile, Hung's dead to Gabby. It'll be a full team wipe for TNC, and now they're up 22,000.
This is where Alchemist lineup just shines. You know, he gets 5-6 items. He's ready to fight. Like, you can feel the difference. He has twice the amount of net worth than the enemy carry. 32 against 16. You can just feel the difference.
Yeah. Bloodthorn finished off for the Alch. X on a Gabby, but I don't think he quite cares. He'll finally have DatBB alive again.
And it's also very problematic that 496, they need to commit on Arrow.
Yeah, Blink, Astral Imprisonment with the right clicks coming in from Gabby, popping that Chemical Rage, going after the racks. They've taken out the Kunkka, now dead for 80 seconds, no buyback.
Yeah, look at that attack speed. Look at him go. He's now level 25.
Oh, DPC, I'm sorry. This has to happen.
Yeah, I think this game is just over. They have to commit with their combos. There is Astral save, there is Snowball save. Like, what do you do after?
Dire's top tower.
It's a lineup that most of the time it's not gonna work because you don't have any late game. You're playing against a lineup that scales very well on side of TNC.
And Gabby's just setting up for the long game. He picks up a shard, goes 6 mangoes. Now he's got an Axe queued up, ready to start sharing the wealth at 35,000 net worth.
And that's the thing with the Alchemists. Even if you're 6 slotted, you can always give it to your teammates. Give a couple of Ags out. They don't have the best Ags carriers in this game, but yeah, having the stats from it just feels very good. That's something that was added in the not the latest patch, but the one before, I believe. So yeah, the stat that you get from out. This is why we've seen like 33 playing offlane Alchemist. They tried to go for like a timing, they missed it, but something to think about. There is a possibility that we're gonna see sometimes Alchemist on the offlane. Full Bloodthorn now done on Alch.
Yeah, and they find the Primal Roar that will hit and should lock down Hung long enough for them to get the kill, especially with Armel coming in. Ghost ship, but look at that. Gabby just moving forward and looking ready and right to kill some of these heroes. DD Alch hitting for a lot. I'm not even going to try and do the math. Static Storm, that comes through onto the Beastmaster, as well as the Kinetic Field, so he's locked in silence. The Arena to follow this up, as well as the Spear that hits onto KP. They'll get the hit on the Beastmaster, but now the Snowball follows in. Arrow splits the seams. Telekinesis dropping down Febby, and, well, with that,
yeah, you
like Shadow,
see, like,
and they'll back
Febby's
away.
reactions are kind of delayed because of the ping he's playing on. Like, that Snowball is like 1 second.
Good fissure. Astro Imprisonment, Totems coming through. Arrow again, not going to land. The look over is they've got the Astro Imprisonment as well as the Snowball. That's in onto red. Kinetic Field, but I'm not sure that's going to stop them. Echo Slam still doesn't feel like enough. And there's the Sanities. Drops onto Hustler. They'll get the kill on the 2s. They'll take out red. Walrus Punch on to 4-5-8. Looks so good in the early game, but it's not going to look good here.
This is where you call it. Like, your Kunkka died. When it's time, Beak up.
It looks like that moment. You need a voice pack, dude. Just a little animation.
Look at this. I don't think I've ever seen anyone having this much attack speed.
I think he's hitting more than he's swinging. It feels like it. Get the kill there on the DPC. Tick of the Disruptor, Walrus Punch, Silence, and the Snowball coming in onto Hung. What was it? Boop, boop, boop. Get the kill onto the Rubik, and they call GG. Yeah, so game 1 goes to TNC. We kind of thought that from the beginning. 496, I want to say they did for 65% of the game put up a good fight.
They did, but in the end, like, strategic aspect, what do you do after you're done with the laning stage? How do I transition, like, any kind of lead that we can possibly build into something? It's just not there. It's very hard, you can keep fighting, but if the enemy teams, like, will defend the high ground, it's still going to be problematic for this kind of a lineup that 496 had.
Yeah, so TNC take game number 1. Everything's important for both these teams, especially TNC. They have to win out, and like it's a whole mess of things that they have to do, that every team has to do here. And well, to break that part down for you, as well as the game, we've got a panel for you. Very handsome guys. Back over to you.
Yeah, Gabby, he protect, he attack, but most importantly, he slap on that Alchemist. What a performance from him and the rest of TNC as they wipe the floor with poor old 496. I mean, it wasn't unexpected. They come up to the game without their full roster. They draft something a little bit interesting. We were having a bit of a conversation, though. You were saying you didn't like the Kunkka. I was saying I like the Kunkka. I like that they're doing something differently and they're not just kind of, accepting their fate. So I feel like if they just draft normally, they're done for. So you might as well try and catch them off guard with something a little bit spicy.
I mean, I get that part. It's just so unrealistic to ever win a game, If it's like some unconventional carry, like some, I don't know, like what's even...
CK.
Something like that can scale into the late game and give you like a chance at winning, But Kunkka is like my least favorite carry like ever, probably.
This is
like I'd rather have a carry Lion.
If this is 2014, Bombi left, attacker joined the team, then I can see this Kunkka carry working out, but it's 2021 right now.
Yeah, it's
yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, Kunkka as a carry isn't truly the best option, even though it did look good at the beginning.
Yeah,
but that's to be
but
that's to be expected. Don't be tricked by that. You're playing with always 5 versus 4, and you have an active midder and an active safe laner. You have Kunkka that's able to make plays. You have Rubik that's able to make plays. Because of that, 496 looked really, really solid in those early engagements. They even had an ultra kill on that Kunkka, but it doesn't matter eventually as this beast of an alchemist shows up with the Swift Link. He literally went Battle Fury SNY Swift Link. And that's it.
A BKB Swift Link.
The team fights were ridiculously strong for him. He jumps in and the pickoffs afterwards. Jumps in, eliminates any single target.
I mean, just not much to say about this game, honestly. Like, very cookie cutter, you know, alchemist gameplay. He farms for like 15-20 minutes. Yeah, he's not even excited. He's just like, yeah, work's done.
Another
day at the office.
Yeah.
Definitely what it felt like for TNC here as they did kind of dismantle poor old 496. Not much to be done and not much to be said about that game. So why don't we set our sights and actually before we set our sights, of course, we have to have our MVP. Who would you give MVP to? I mean, I think we know who it's going to. But
who is going to Gabby?
Is it Gabby?
Of course.
Yeah.
Wow.
Gabby.
Okay.
Of course.
Unexpected. Nah, I mean,
how can you not expect that?
He did his job well,
Yeah.
except that I didn't expect his laning phase to crumble as much as it did. I didn't expect him to die to a Mars Shaker. He was caught out behind the tower like twice, which is not something you
1.1k
expect.
GPM, by the way.
Yeah, he is.
Okay.
He
All right, Gabby.
almost killed the Mars, I think.
He went ham.
Yeah, Mars at one point survives with the first aggression that happened on that lane was actually Tusk and Alk going on the Mars. Mars survives with like 5 HP, which allows him to reset and then do a couple of good things. Alchemist obviously caught in the jungle later as well. Had to relegate himself all the way to the triangle, which was a good thing because he had a juicy stack of ancients waiting for him.
5 stack.
Yeah, which made him recover really nicely.
Yep. Yummy, yummy creeps in my tummy. Gets him nice and full up and puts him on course for an excellent performance in this game number 1. Do you think 496 need to ban out the Alchemist, or is it just a case of making sure they don't have that hole? I mean, was there a hole in their draft which this Alchemist abused?
I mean, I feel like, as I said, even like a PA, or honestly, any hard carry would just pretty much do the same thing. Sorry.
You're right, mate.
Alchemist is a very extreme case. Has something in my throat there suddenly. I don't know what that was.
All right, mate?
Yeah, I was talking about Alchemist and something.
Make you feel sick.
Maybe I should not talk about it here anymore, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like a very extreme case, obviously, where he abused that hole even more than other heroes would. Because you give him 5-10 minutes of space, which you can easily do because they have no tower pressure on 496's side. And yeah, they abused it perfectly. He came online. Game was over.
All right. Last question, Lizard. What do you think about 458's performance and DatB's performance as well on the POS 5? Swapping it around a bit.
Yeah, 458 definitely looking a bit more comfortable, but he is a seasoned carry player in the region, right? So because of that, he looks all right, even on an unconventional pick. Meanwhile, that BB, you know, I liked him more on a core position. This looks a little bit shaky from him. Buying back, dying back. Is to be expected, of course, because you're used to...
okay, but went downhill very, very quickly.
Looks like me as POS 5.
What am I doing? I don't know.
Yeah,
well, there we go. Game number 1 goes the way of TNC. Can 496 pull a miracle out of the bag and turn around this game number 2? We'll find out after this break.
I just can't find a comfortable headset. I mean, I've tried everything. Literally everything.
I got you.
Legendary comfort goes wireless.
That is comfortable.
Buenos dias, everybody, and welcome back to the DPC SEA. My name is Nomad, and joining me on this panel is Black and Lizard as we get back into the first series of the day, and it is 496 versus TNC. In game number 1, it was a bit of a smattering, there wasn't really much of 496 to be seen. They did things a little bit unconventionally, didn't really work out for them. They tried to tilt the scales of justice in their favor by doing the unconventional, but alas, it wasn't the play, and they end up dropping game 1. We've heard that Black wants them to go towards something more conventional in game number 2. Lizard?
No.
Good. All right.
I mean, wait. Not more conventional, but if you do something that can win the game. Like go Pugna, Cuddle, a full push, or go full late game with Morphling, Anti-Mage. Like do something that can actually win you the game.
But that's still conventional.
Is it?
Unconventional is if you're not picking something that can, in your eyes, win the game.
No, unconventional is just something that's not normal, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, which is not always
Normally you want to win.
I mean, okay, if you play to not win, then maybe Dota's not the right game for you.
Normally you want to be comfortable as well, which is why you should get a secret lab chair, because you'll always be comfortable in a secret lab chair. Those things are the epitome of comfort in the game chair
mechanism.
world. Multi-tilt mechanism and 4D armrests as well, So isn't it annoying when you're there on your chair and you're like, oh god, I can't like get my elbows where I want them.
I wish I could tilt
they're
right
up here
now a
or
little
down
bit.
here,
Like
or to be around here. You can customize the whole damn thing with Secret Lab.
It works as a workout machine as well. Like he just showed, you can work on those abs by moving it back and forth. Yeah.
Not their advertised use, and we do not recommend it legally. But if you want to, go for it. But just don't. If you break
you're brave
yourself.
enough.
But do not blame any of us for it.
Yep.
We accept no liability for anybody who wrecks themselves on a secret lab chair trying to do workouts. That is your own risk. But yeah, get yourself a secret lab chair if you want. Guys, game number 2. I don't know. Like I feel like it's just such a. What do you think even mentality is in the 496 camp? Just like we tried Coca, didn't work. Let's try something else.
Let's try carry Skyrav next game.
Carry maybe look. I could blame them for trying the Skunka on the safe lane, but I will not, because yesterday we have seen jungling Huskar. We have seen.
But they can win games, though.
I believe anything can win games.
But at least it can push buildings.
You just need to. Black, you're like a closed box made out of metal. You need to set yourself free, my friend.
I did that.
Like, you can't play on your stream these lions mid, these oracles mid, and then talk like this about Kunkka safe lane.
But I only do that when I have a carry that can hit buildings. Otherwise, I'm going to pick a Pugna, because I want to win.
I can't fold that logic, even though all I see is losses and red pages on his profile.
What? No, that's not true. That's not true.
It's all right.
I dispute that. No, I'm talking to you now. How's it
all
going?
right. I mean, I've given up on Dota at this point. I've lost so many games. So
how do I
win? How do I win?
You don't lose.
Damn, didn't think about that.
I mean, I don't know. Dota is just, you feel like you're winning 99% of the time, and suddenly you lost.
Yeah.
And you don't even know why. It's like, huh? Why?
What about some real life advice? So, give me even though none of us are single, there might be some single people watching this. I want to hear your advice for all the single people out there. Yeah.
Okay, so on my stream I get asked a lot, right? Like,
Do you?
yeah, like how?
I mean, I'm sure that makes total sense. You being
It's
such
like, what is like the number one advice you would give me? Like, I'm a very shy guy, or whatever. I always say you need the number one importance, and you can probably confirm.
Secret lab chair.
Yes. Other than that, we're not talking about equipment. We're talking about personality here, right? Confidence. A woman, even like me, you know, I'm a 3, 4 out of 10. But because of my confidence, I look like an 8.
That's 8, bro. In my eyes, you're a 10.
Thank you.
You're
But
a
only because I'm
shining
confident,
star.
right?
No.
No.
That's what you think. That's your secret. You know how...
Secret sauce?
Yeah, that's your secret sauce. That's your secret ingredient. That's your...
It's your secret lab.
Yeah, secret lab.
Secret lab sauce.
Secret lab sauce.
It's just that one crazy drink that makes you think that way, that makes you think you're powerful.
My love
but
potion.
Yeah, your potion, but it's not actually the potion. The confidence only
But
comes
then
afterwards.
I think there's a difference between false confidence and confidence to be yourself. You know?
Sure. But I mean, you need to be confident with your own self before you can even like other people.
But a lot of
right?
people hear like, oh, I need to be confident, and then like puff out their chest and go.
Yeah, not like
walk into a bar and go, ooh, just slam a chair over a table and go, why won't
look
girls
at
touch
my
me?
arms.
Why won't men touch me? You know, like both sides of the coin as well. So.
By the way,
you can't fake anything for sure.
To all the people in the chat watching Dota stream and hearing nerds talk about your confidence and how you should pick, get.
But it's how you win games like this as well. You need that confidence, you know. Just go in and pick, conquer, carry.
Yeah.
It's the same theory, but you need to have confidence in yourself to play that conquer, carry, and win the game.
But he picked it and he did not win the game.
No.
So it's false confidence.
So now they need to come up. They can't lose that confidence.
It was false confidence, though. That's why.
It was false
It
confidence.
was false confidence. Because
if he was really confident, he would have created much more.
At the beginning, it worked. Like early game, it worked. But when they could see through the...
then you start crumbling. You're like, it's not me. It's like, I'm not creating anymore.
You can't adopt these fake personalities.
You can for a while.
Yeah.
That's why every successful streamer is never a fake personality. They're always themselves.
Never.
No.
Yes.
I see. Well, we've done some profound exploration of the human psyche in this segment. But let's talk a little bit more about the Dota. Which heroes do you think you want to see buffed next? You know, because we've had the nerf patch. Maybe we've got a buff patch on the horizon. Or who do you want to see coming back into play? I can start this. I want to see Skywrath back. We haven't seen that hero in so long.
But that's so like it's such a delicate hero. If you buff him a little bit too much, he's
very
overwhelming.
delicate. He's a delicate bird.
Yeah.
Very, very
like he
delicate.
just deals so much damage. You know?
I relate.
What would you buff? Because he deals so much damage already.
I don't know. What was his shot? I can't even remember what his shot.
Just buff his damage even more.
Minus 50% status.
Make him even stronger.
That's 50% status.
On the silence, yeah.
On the silence. Oh, see, that's not great for him.
It's really good. Like you jump into silence the guy, you hex him. He's hexed for over 5 seconds.
Skywrath is in a position in which, if you really play the hero a lot, you can make him work in games. There's Pro with save. Save does it.
You need to snowball, right? You need to snowball. You get the fast 8-toss, you keep killing.
Yeah. There are definitely better options on 4. That's the issue. He's this delicate creature played on position 4. You don't really want that. You want a brawler. You want a Tusk. You want a black on position 4. You want a meathead.
I feel like that shard has definitely got some potential though. Like, what if you have like Skywrath Doom, and then you have a Doom
24-second
like
Doom.
20. Jesus, that's
lots of good combos.
What are some other ones?
I mean, my favorite, as you said, is Doom, or just yourself. If you just, as I said, silence hex.
Yeah,
He's just hexed for over 5 seconds.
Oh, what about Shaman with Shackle?
Shaman with Shackle is probably your
forever.
That?
Yeah, the whole game. Like you actually
10.5 seconds.
When you start the next game, you're still shackled in the fountain. So it's.
And that's not all. You can find the ceremonial robe. It's another 10%.
60% status.
Then you're shackled in the real life as well.
Yeah.
You can't
your chair, you're like,
come out the screen.
Unless you have secret lab chair.
Then you're fine. Or a HyperX headset, in which case it'll
reflected, yeah.
So wait, the chair gives you status resistance?
IRL.
Is that the lore?
IRL, yeah.
Is that the IRL? Yeah, exactly.
So if you're ever stunned in real life, for example, someone gives you some really shocking news, you'll be able to process it much better.
Yeah,
I'm pregnant,
because you're comfortable.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're in a secret lab chair. All right. That's fine.
Cool.
Cool.
All right. 496 opening up with a Spirit Breaker.
Breaker.
Speaking of status resistance,
Yep.
there you go.
How much is it? 70%? Max level? Something like that.
Maximum amount of status resistance 80.
Is it
Kappa.
80? I actually don't know.
I think it's like 80.
I just don't cast spells on him. When he
You
has
don't because you
Just ignore
can't. You cast the spell on him, he just shakes
wasted.
it off.
it.
Yeah.
Endurance run.
A pretty cool approach to the game from 496 with their opening because, yeah, this is unconventional. This is what we wanted. This is pure aggression as well. Coming out from your first pick, if you pair it up well with something, you can perhaps dominate the mid game. However, Oracle is such a good answer to it from TNC because it also shuts down the Darkseer possibility with the Spirit Breaker.
And it purges the Bulldoze as well, which is like his best tool. Brewmaster.
Brewmaster, yes. So kind of balancing the ingredients here. They've got the Spirit Breaker to give them that single target stun, the annoyance factor, the discombobulation factor, and they've got the Brewmaster
Discombobulate them, yes.
further discombobulation with the split and a bit of team fight in there as well. I kind of like what they're doing here.
Yeah, that's a good answer to Oracle generally because you just have that Storm Panda run in Invis and you up the Oracle. He's out of the fight. It's just a weird opening. They definitely lack a lot of damage right now.
Weird opening, and considering this is usually played on supports, you have your position 4 and 5 being Spirit Breaker and a Brewmaster, which does not really look that great. These two cannot accomplish a lot together early on in the game. Those rotations are going to be very lackluster as well.
Oh, look at Gabby. He went like, I got this.
Got the Morphlin. So they ban out the Shaker, they ban out the Sand King on 496. So these big combos with the Morphling will not be there. And man, last time TNC played this Morphling versus Boom, it didn't look that great. They came back pretty much because of the Shaker Morphling combo. But up to that point, up to the point where they had the Aghanims and Shard on the Shaker, they were losing that game. And if 23 Savage was that troll, I believe Boom might have even taken it.
Possibly. The past is in the past.
Yep.
You can't go back and test it out, unfortunately. We don't have that technology yet.
Soon. It will come in a few
Soon at
years.
TM.
Yeah. If you could time travel back to one specific Dota moment of your life, though, and change it, what would it be? What decision would you change, or what?
Is it in a game?
Yeah.
Or
In a game or just in general?
in general.
Your
Dota.
whole career or whatever.
Let's do in game. Specific moment from your game. I would have just gone back to the first time I started playing Bloodseeker this patch and gone, don't do it. Just stop. It's not going to work. You're going to lose a lot of MMR trying to make this hero work as a carry. And you're going to feel very stupid.
And for me, just probably some tournament game.
Yeah. Same here.
Just some tournament game.
Same here, but
Just play better.
perhaps
play better.
one big echo wasted.
Yeah,
in a tournament. I can't
echoing before
remember.
you blink.
I think it was Dota Pit or something like that.
Dota Pit.
Feels bad, man.
Or something
Sorry
like that.
to bring you guys into that mindset, I guess.
No, it's okay. It's okay. Losing is oftentimes better than winning because it helps you grow.
Losing is learning.
Yes. You
Or it
either
just
win
shatters
or you learn.
and you don't really have the willpower to play anymore. But this is
And
the
then you
point.
become a talent.
And you become a talent. But this is the part that nobody ever tells you because it's all about the motivational speech. So if you lose, it's great, guys. You will get better. You will
either
learn.
win or you learn.
Yeah, you either win or you learn. The fact that you're emotionally broken after all those losses,
It does not matter.
It does not matter.
It does not matter.
You're a winner.
Your emotions do not matter.
Yeah.
And if you're watching on the 4K stream on YouTube, you can actually see the tears coming down their faces as they say this. Anyway, let's have a look at some of these bans.
Yeah,
We've got
really
a Phantom Lancer, a Storm Spirit, and a Grimstroke banned out by TNC. Meanwhile, 496, they're going to get rid of the Shaker, the Sand King, and the Bat Rider.
Yeah, we already talked about the 496's bans. TNC, however, PL really good against the Morphling. You also
And
got
Oracle too.
And Oracle and Storm, the same reasons. You're really strong against the
Same.
Morphling. Oracle hates playing into a Storm Spirit. You have that reach, you have Disable to prevent him from saving targets. I want to see some good combo with the Morphling on TNC though.
Like what?
I'm not sure what's left even. You can morph into the Spirit Breaker, I guess, on 496's side.
You could.
Which is very good, but besides that...
I will see there's... is there anything else is broken?
If you're good at pressing your buttons, which Gabby is,
Earth
could
Spirit?
you...
Banned. Yeah.
Oh no, I'm just thinking what they've got now. Can you turn into Oracle with the Ethereal Blade and just like blow someone up for even more HP.
I mean, you could, but
I
you
guess
don't
you
want to
don't
buy
really
an
need
axe
to,
for
but-
it.
You
Yeah.
could, but it
Oh, yeah,
sounds
you need
pretty
it, yeah.
dumb.
Yeah, that sounds pretty stupid. Moving on.
I mean, it's probably just for a lane, to be honest, because Morph against either of those heroes, like he doesn't care about them at all.
Yeah.
496, I don't know what they're going to pick now, but I'm expecting a 4th pick anti-mage from them.
Just get an AA position 5.
It could work. We have seen BO3. It would not be bad at all. Except Pango kind of.
You just pick a core that.
Do you get
it's
bulldo-
difficult. It's difficult. Pango right now is really strong.
Yeah, yeah. Do you get bulldoze when you turn into Spirit Breaker and then use it and then turn back into
Yeah,
Morph?
you have it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
you
pretty
It's
have
just
it.
a buff on you.
Didn't know that.
Yeah.
It pretty much works with any buff. You can use Blade Fury even and turn back into Morphling and
Yeah.
continue spinning.
Yeah.
So
It's cool.
Spin to win.
there's Winter Wyvern. What's it called?
Arctic
Burn
Burn,
as well
yeah.
that you can morph into.
And of course, Willow.
Willow. Yeah.
But don't build axe when you do
Nightmares.
that, because then you don't have the buff. I've seen it a couple of times, so I'm going to build Aghanim's and turn into my Winter Wyvern. But then you turn back to Morphling.
Nothing
Don't have it
happens.
Oh.
Yeah. Mirana
Interesting.
from 496. Okay. Yeah. So I've seen this combo Mirana plus Spirit Breaker on the support positions lose way more than win in
Uh-oh.
this tournament.
It's definitely an anti-mage game.
But I think it's... Hold on, is it
It
Brew
could be.
off lane or is it Spirit Breaker off lane?
It is a Brew offlane, most
Okay.
likely.
It could also be Mirana core. We have seen
Yeah.
that. Not in this region though, but we have seen Mirana's
Oh,
mid.
we see it. Oh, yeah, no, you're right. That's
It's
China.
It's China. Emo played it.
Mm-hmm.
Anti-mage.
Anti-mage.
They did play anti-mage on 496, so
They did.
it's a pretty solid pick already for them.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of good mana pools to exploit.
Also jumps on top of Oracle as well, which is very nice.
Also jumps on top of DP, also jumps on top of Pango, and Morphling without mana.
These three heroes though, they look so weak together already.
Drow Ranger.
So
Okay.
I don't like it as much as AM, but it does provide them with a little bit more than an AM would in the early to mid game. These three heroes, when you look at them, Spirit Breaker, Mirana, Panda, what are they going to do? Absolutely nothing after the laning stage. You don't have the damage. However,
Big words.
with the Drow Ranger, you have this lineup that will have 4 to 5 heroes being active early on.
Yeah,
which
the
is
problem
nice.
is they have a lot of heroes that can just get on top of them. Like, if
Yeah.
any of those three is on top of the Drow, yikes.
I feel like it's on the Drow to get on top of the Morphling and not the other way around. But if the Drow can get on top of the Morphling, Morphling does feel like a bit of a wet spaghetti. 'cause-
Not on top of him, but hitting him from
well,
distance.
yes,
That's
yes,
what you mean,
metaphorically.
right?
Yeah, she doesn't
Mor-
want to blink on top Abyssalim, you know.
Yeah. Morphling will be the one trying to close that range with an
Yeah.
E-Blade perhaps, but
But then just Manta dodge that.
Yeah, she needs to get the jump on him, silence him, and kill him whilst he's, well, pretty much in A form. She does well against him in strength or edgy.
It's the
but-
same thing as draft 1, except now
Wait.
496 actually
What?
have a winning condition.
What is it, boy? What do you
this
see?
this could be a
What?
Mirana core now as well, very well, right? Like Mirana mid with the Drow Ranger safe lane.
Yeah,
That-
but you're landing against a DP. It's like, yeah.
Is it that bad?
I mean, it's just you out damage her by like 15 almost.
Yeah, and you eventually you have the Drow Ranger Zora. I think it can be
It
pretty solid.
can work.
You just leap
but
away from the
it's
Siphons
just so
as well.
risky.
I
Yeah.
like it. I'm with Lizard on this one.
I mean, it can work. We never know what the boys are gonna do.
There's a lot of burst damage on TNC that you have to worry about, but I would love to see that Witchblade Mirana build. Witchblade Manta, just a punch of the right click
Witchblade?
damage. Yeah, the Witchblade.
Oh, that blade.
That blade, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Good one, Black.
He's on fire with these puns today.
Do love some nice original humor on this panel.
Thank you. That's what I'm here for.
Definitely.
I'm not here for my analysis. Who wants to hear that?
All right, give me some analysis then. What are 496 going to pick? If you can predict
Any of the
this.
spirits? Okay, not the spirits.
Oh, I thought it was over for a
Obviously,
bit. but-
he's fired. So
Yeah.
now it's my turn.
I'm fired. Was that a pun as well? Good job. You're on fire, man.
Thank you.
Oh.
TNC, they like to 4 Pango more than the offlane, I believe. What's good against like a Drow Ranger to pressure him in lane? Like a... Like
Come on.
Like
Your
him?
analytical
Yeah.
knowledge, we're waiting for it.
what about Timber? So they have no Timber damage this game.
Doesn't sound too bad.
Lycan.
Banned.
All
Come on, Timber. Make me look good.
right. And You're fired. Sorry, Black. Both of you are fired.
But at least they do the same thing. So I was on the right track. Whereas he said spirits. Come on.
Overall, it's much better because of the arena. You're
I actually
playing
thought
into a
it was
lot of right-click damage. Yeah, you're playing into Lina, Drow Ranger, Mirana. Man, Hang on this Lina is definitely a skilled player. You definitely can do a lot from that mid lane. I just don't believe in the hero. Lina looks oftentimes very lackluster. If she's out of position 1 time, 2 times, she's just gone. I'm going with 496 production.
I mean, hot take here. Lina and Drow do the same thing. I don't believe in heroes that don't take care of each other's weaknesses. So I'm going to go with TNC here.
Lizard, you madman. You actually did
Hey,
it.
wait, why did I go with 496?
You said 496 production. You literally said it. You're not taking it back.
TNC
No,
production.
you
Sorry,
said,
I'm
you
taking
said
that.
496
You said
production. Do not
496.
change your production.
I was
He's
just looking,
dug his grave.
but everything I said was in TNC's favor.
Mute him. Mute him. Damn it.
Oh my god.
I have no
Take
power
the
here.
production.
That is weak.
Yeah, I'm going TNC as well. You know, I feel like they've picked 2 backline heroes which don't like to be jumped into 2 heroes which jump them. 3 heroes which jump them. 4 heroes if DP builds a blink. 5 heroes if Femi builds a blink, which never know. Okay, we're going to throw it over across to our casters, B.Cup and Lacoste, for game number 2. Guys, what are we thinking about this one?
yeah, I think Black is right.
I've been using a lot of predictions, a lot of magical powers. This time I'm going to use chat. They've been saying that my bits here, my predictions have been totally not cringe. TNC. Bam.
I'll go with Black.
Oh,
like
I see.
his analysis is just too superior for any other Dota analysts that are out there. So can't disagree with him.
Alrighty then, well we are live into the game for number 2, so we're going to throw it across to you guys. B.Cup and Lacoste, take it away.
On to this game number 2, 496 TNC. Big for both teams, but TNC looking much stronger in game number 1, so we'll see where it goes into game number 2 if maybe we see TNC kind of wrap it up and take the series pretty quickly and potentially take this game pretty quickly. But 496, there were points in the first game where they looked really good. Thought those first 15 to 20 minutes, they looked like a much better team than they looked in the previous games of the DPC. And, there was a lot of hope in my eyes watching this team as, it started to come together, but eventually, you're up against that Alchemist, and it did ultimately fall apart.
Yeah, this game they have some late game Drow Ranger, Brewmaster, like even Lina can scale. I'm a bit worried because the lineup looks rather squishy. You have like Drow, Lina, Mirana. These heroes don't like to get jumped, and especially Lina. I've said this so many times, B.Cup. I talked about mid Lina. I'll always try to find something positive, but it always surprises me. Somehow Lina, most of the time, just ends up losing on a mid lane. It's very hard to itemize. Like, if you want to get like Boots of Travel to get them more out of the map, your team's not doing well, it backfires, you get a Yule Scepter, you use it offensively, you set up a stun, suddenly Mars is in your face, you're dead. I'll hold that thought, let's see if they can get anything. Nah, there's just too much armor coming out from the tier 2 tower. And regeneration, so he's good.
Yeah, easy peasy, easy escape, and I agree with you on that Lina thought. We've seen it so many times. Lina dies 2-3 times, and then the game's just kind of over for that hero, and it's a lot of pressure to play that Lina, knowing that like you slip up 1 or 2 times, and that's it. Like you don't get much more than that. It's a little tough. And especially
like we see Lina going like 5-6-0, 15 minutes in.
Yeah.
Then she dies twice, and you feel like, yeah, Lina's not having a game anymore. Also, why is Brewmaster on top holding a Sven sword? What is that? Did it kill him? Did he borrow it? What? Like this thing is huge.
You're giving away Netflix spoilers.
Yeah, I watched the anime. It's gonna be good. Trust me, guys.
Yeah. There's this one scene where Brewmaster and Sven. Never mind. I don't want to.
They walk into a bar. Brewmaster, he spends most of the time in a bar anyway. Sven gets drunk, and Brewmaster just steals his sword.
Yeah, wins it off a bet of playing rock, paper, scissors. It was it's a great episode. Don't miss it. So yeah, I mean that sword's massive. Jesus. 4-5-8. See how he does this game. You know, I thought he had a great performance with that Kunkka. It just, at the end of the day, it wasn't enough. You know, his team around him started to crumble.
That's how I feel after every single pub I lose. Like, great performance by me. I did everything almost perfect, but, you know, it's either the rest of the picks, rest of the team, a bit of unluck.
Hung getting pressured again. Spirit Siphon coming through. And a little Crypt Swarm action for you, Hung, as Armel gets first blood. Just kind of walks him down, knew he had the kill, especially when Hung turned around.
Radiant's middle tower is
Hung tried to maybe deter him with a Dragon Slave, but Armel not faced.
That should not happen. Like, that Prophet should not be able to kill Lina in the mid lane. Like, you picked it to counter that Prophet, Outranger, have burst damage, nuker. Like, something that Prophet doesn't like to play into.
Yeah.
Hung now on a high ground. No points in stun yet.
Not a lot of mana for Armel, but the right clicks with the Spirit Siphon, the man fight.
Okay, Lina's game's done. Like, this is just over. She TP'd back.
Now you're walking back to mid lane. That's... Man. Yeah. I mean, try and go knuckles to knuckles on that one. And
that Prophet already, like, you don't have a point in stun, so that's the problem. Like, you can't really just go uphill, try to man up, see what's going to happen, because there is, like, Armel was, I don't even have to dodge, because there's nothing to dodge. I'm not going to dodge Dragon Slave. So once you come back to the lane, that Prophet's going to be level 5, and oh my god, they even TP in to refill the bottle from that Prophet.
Yeah, Tim's died to the Spirit Breaker, and now you've got the refill on the bottom.
He did that on purpose. You know, just refill the bottle. We see that quite often. You know, it might sound stupid to a casual viewer, but something that players do. Not necessarily feed, but if you get like a trade kill to refill the bottle, it's worth it. Lina even used smoke to run down a mid lane faster, that extra bit of a movement speed. But I'm not sure what the plan here is. Like, you need someone to gank. You have one of the better like gankers, Spirit Breaker, but it's still hard because that Prophet has like 2 points in Spirit Siphon. She's gonna be level 6 at 4 minutes, which is pretty insane.
Get that level 6, use Exorcism to just try and take the tier 1 tower, then what do you do as Alina? I don't think there's any answer when you start to lose your spots on the map where you can farm reliably. Armel, yeah, he's level 6. 4 minutes, 30 seconds, level 6. Man, Hung is only level 4. Tim's is sitting nearby, too. He's only level 2, but it feels like they do want to make a move. KP bottom, taking a lot of right clicks, stat PB. Not much he could do to add to that one. Charge on cooldown for another 5 seconds.
The rest of the team is probably, bro, you have to hung in there. You know, they all feel the pain. You know, when your mid laner is getting this dumpstered, everyone is like, yeah, you know, we're gonna have a rough game.
Yeah, you could definitely feel it around the sides of 496. We'll see if they can start to bring this one back. It's not that they're down by a lot of net worth either, but it's only 5 minutes into the game. Like, I don't expect them to be down 2-3K. Like, it's just not time enough. But, you know, things can really start to spiral out of control if they're not careful, especially with Armel sitting here level 6. Like, you've got the ability to put the pressure on, siege creep, exorcism, move forward. You've got Febby to protect you, as well as this Pangolier. Go for the tier 1 tower mid. Close down the map.
Whoever shows up is just straight up dead. Lina's level 5. There's not enough burst damage to take out the Dead Prophet. Dead Prophet just hit level 7.
BB comes in, Hustler. His arrow's on cooldown for 6 seconds. They'll go on to the Spirit Breaker. You come over, you try to defend. Well, now you're just giving up lives. Hung trying to TP away. You can see how much damage he took so quickly. There's now Exorcism back onto the tier 1 tower. And it may not be Exorcism that kills the tower, but it definitely puts the pressure on, and, well, they've got another kill out of it. Actually, TP's back mid.
Considering how bad mid lane went, it's less than 1k gold lead, so like the side lanes are doing well. 31 CS on a Drow Ranger. She just hit levels 6 power treads. You know, she's farmed, and it's very hard to be in the lane where Drow Ranger is right now.
Leaps away, charge in from DPC. Febby and Tim's just trying to deal with this Spirit Breaker. Almost got a kill on the Mirana there. Exorcism up in 75 seconds. But yeah, Armel working with an Arcane Rune. Take a look up top. Gabby, Red, just back and forth. You can see Gabby leading the net worth over this Brew by a little bit. And actually down 100 gold to the Drow. So it's not the most open lane for the Morphling at the moment. Whoa, Joey, that's always a good one to have. But both teams get it.
Balance.
Balance in all things.
It's something that Morphling like really wants to have. Extra HP regen, extra mana regen. Once you get like, let's say you play Storm Turret, you get the Jelly plus Arcane Ring. You know your game can't get better than that.
Fine.
Oh, that SB
BB
is gonna die probably. Okay, they fall back. They do not want to fully commit. Mars still not level 6. I thought he was 6. No, it's almost 8 minutes.
Primal split, and they've got the stun. They stop Gabby's TP. They're going to continue with a charge. He's in a lot of trouble with 458 making the rotation. Stun him again, and well, Gabby's dead to 458. Good rotation, good use of the Primal split.
This is what you want to see from the first split. Like, you want to get stuff done, and you get the best possible kill in the game. You kill Morphling. Now you're going to put some pressure on the tower. A reason why we don't see Brewmaster that often is like that he's cooldown dependent. On first split, 140 seconds cooldown, you need to make stuff done. If you misuse it, okay, you misuse it once again, you don't get anything out from that. You just feel like you're not getting anything out of that hero. That BB in a bit of a trouble. Spirit Siphon, Armel's not going to chase, but they took a tier 1 tower on a mid lane, while 496 will take the top tower. Their bottom tower is still almost full HP.
Yeah, I would expect maybe pressure comes out into that bottom tier 1 when the next Exorcism is available, but that's still 100 seconds away, as that last Exorcism just finished. Armel going around, finding some neutral items, picked up an Arcane Ring, now sends back the Fairy's Trinket. A couple of good items dropping for TNC. Possessed Mask for 496. See who ends up taking the Possessed Mask for the moment.
Interesting build on a Brewmaster. He rushed that hood straight away. There's a ton of magical damage on TNC's side, so no surprise there, but you know, not even a bracer, not a bottle. This hero consumes a lot of mana, so needs to have constant clarities running.
Hustler as Hung gets the kill on a Gabby bottom. Well, just leaps away and gets out of the arena, but they get another kill on to this Morphling. Coming over and well, dying to just a Dragon Slave and a Laguna Blade. I mean, that's really helping Lina get back into this by getting a kill on the Morph.
I'll take that.
Like, you look at the net worth, and all of a sudden Lina's at 4K, and well, your Mars and your Morphling are 3,300. They're not doing as well as the Death Prophet for sure.
Yeah, Lina actually managed to recover, especially with the last kill. Bottom lane, Brewmaster has that hood, has Primal Split. I don't think he dies. Like, he also has 12 Magic Wand charges. DNC just checking out how much damage they can deal to him.
Almost like they're poking and prodding, hoping that he would use the Primal Split. Nobody else is really here with him except for the Mirana, but Mirana doesn't have a lot of health to play with, so Hustle, I doubt he comes forward to try and help, and Red, if he splits, he's not getting much help afterwards, at least not at the moment.
Once again, 496, they're doing very well mid lane. Laguna is available. One more hit will do the trick.
Tim's, yeah, trying to Rolling Thunder out of there, and ends up going down. Another kill for Hung, that time holding the double damage, using the Laguna again. Like, TNC, they had shut down this Lina so hard and have really given the opportunity for Hung to come back.
496, except Lina, good laning stage once again. Like, they are even ahead. 1k gold lead so far.
is under attack.
Armel has Exorcism ready. Looking to pressure this bottom tier 1. TP over. And there's the charge onto Armel. Red coming in, and now they've used that primal split. They've got the arena down, but the stun is out on Armel. Starstorm, silence, Exorcism is going to be enough to stay alive. It looks like it for the moment, but now another stun follows it up with the LSA, and, well, Femi and Armel are gone. KP looking like he's next, charges in. Make it a third, potentially a fourth, depending on if teams can get out of this. Has Rolling Thunder in 3, but he's been hit with the silence. The LSA once again. And Tims is gone. 4-9-6 with a very successful defense of the bottom lane.
Another good split by Red. Like, they get 4 kills out of this one. So yeah, I like when Brewmaster plays aggressively, and he's going to be able to scale. Like, he's getting the levels, didn't die a single time. Drow Ranger uncontested. Like, Drow Ranger's dealing so much damage in these fights. Oracle, unfortunately, needed 1 CS to be level 6 there. Could make a bit of a difference. Use it on that Prophet. Exorcism still running. KP. Man, they need to be careful.
Just does not feel like TNC have utilized enough the lead that Armel had over the Lina, which is now just 500 gold. It was a couple thousand a moment ago. Charge in on the KP. False promise for the save. They're going to try and go after this. They've hit Red without a primal split, so maybe an opportunity to get a couple kills here as they take out DPC, find 4-5-8, and now with the spear landing on Red and a swashbuckle in from Tims, they'll get 3. So TNC, 4-9-6, back and forth we go.
4-9-6, overstayed their welcome.
Yeah.
Try to get kill on tier 1 tower. Drow Ranger was out of mana, didn't have enough to use silence there. No primal split. Very weird decision making. Like, we can feel the inexperience kicking in when they want to do a bit too much.
Radiant's bottom tower has
Like,
fallen.
they just killed 4 heroes. You don't necessarily need to force another tower. Just reset, wait for your cooldowns, possibly with the Moonlight Shadow. Try to get a setup. Spirit Breaker is level 7 now.
Radiant's bottom
I
tower
love
is
this
under
build on Spirit
attack.
Breaker. When, like, all your abilities are good, like, what do I go for? I do not want to, you know, look dumb, so I'll mix it up a bit. You know, put a point here, put a point there. Something that I do as well.
Well, 2-2-2. Gabby's been spotted. Charge out again. Already morphing into the strength, trying to survive. We'll see if anybody can come over in time to save Gabby. Waveform back to the tower. Febby's right by him. They've used the primal split. There's a lot of commitment coming in from 4-9-6.
Radiant's bottom tower is
They
under
don't even
attack.
get the kill onto Gabby. So
It's a tough one. Once Mirana finishes her Spirit Vessel, it's going to be so much easier against the Death Prophet, against the Morphling. That's going to be a big item. Even though it is dispellable by 2 abilities from Oracle. Morphling, farming a Mantis style, still very far away from it. So Lina
Radiant's bottom tower
actually
is
recovered
under
nicely.
attack.
Like, she has Boots of Travel, has Ether Lance, decided to go for the cast range talent.
Is under attack.
I'd still prefer if she, you know, mixes things up, maybe get Ether Lance talent so you don't need to go for the cast range. Instead, you get a damage, which allows you to scale.
Arena down, it's only around DPC. They'll get the kill on the Spirit Breaker. Good kill there, but it cost them the arena. They still have Rolling Thunder. They still, you know, working with False Promise. Maybe they can play aggressive if they want on TNC.
I'll take that.
Orphling's still farming away, going Manta E-Blade. Drow, meanwhile, it's Hurricane Pike with the
Yeah, I
option to
saw
start.
him doing a Blink Dagger. It's a good item on a Drow Ranger. You don't necessarily need to get it straight away. Like, Manta-style Pike is a standard into probably BKB eventually, but with the Blink Dagger, like, you know, some of these Southeast Asian players, they like to risk a lot.
Yeah.
And, like, Blink Dagger's fine, which you can upgrade to them. Before, Blink Dagger, I'm not going to say, it was not picked up that often on certain heroes because you couldn't upgrade it. Now with the Swift Blink, with the Arcane Blink, and the Underwhelming Blink, you know, it's still a possibility to get it on the heroes that wouldn't necessarily get them. I've said underwhelming blink for a reason, because that one just feels, you
Dire's
know,
middle tower has been denied.
Kind of
like
like
the worst one.
They should make some more blinks.
Dire's top tower is
Give me a
under
fourth
attack.
blink. God's rebuke on DPB as he's charging towards KP. All 5 heroes committed towards
Yeah, give me
top.
status resistance blink. Where you blink and you have 90% status resist.
Is that, would they call that game-winning blink?
Yeah, I think we need an Imba blink, maybe.
Ooh.
Radiant's courier has been killed.
DPB's courier goes down to Armel. They're coming around the back. They've got themselves the arena that's around Hung, but they use the primal split. The exorcism off from Armel. Looking over at Hustle, and now focuses his attention over onto 458. Has the silence onto the Drow, gets on top. This is a problem for 458, especially with the Rolling Thunder coming in. A couple more shots, and that's the swashbuckler to finish him off, but they end up losing KP, a 1-for-1 so far. Gabby, waveform in 4 seconds. LSA, that misses, but they've got the silence on to Red. Now
Oh, what a
waveform.
joke!
Red, just
I mean,
back out.
he's probably still gonna die, but it was a nice try, you know. Goes in, then instantly gets out, uses Drunken Brawler. Still not enough. Good fight from TNC. Arrow missed. This is what they need to do. Get on top of the Draw Ranger. Draw Ranger right now deals still the most damage in the team fights because Lina went a different route. A spell casting route. Cast range. Going into Yule Scepter. I already said I'm not a big fan of it. I would like Lina to be able to scale.
Immediately stopped with the Yules, and, well, DapBB charges into death. Arrow misses, and Armel bottling an Arcane Rune. That's always one for Death Prophet that feels perfect, right?
She will have it for the next fight. Just keep it in. Exorcism will be up. And then you can try to take a fight, possibly turn that into Roche.
Pupils gift for the Morphling, Essence Ring for the Brewmaster. Drow, how are you doing on this Hurricane Pike?
Getting very close to finishing it off.
Also Pupils gift for the Drow.
I think she takes Aquila now that he dropped. But you can still hold the Possessed Mask, like when you're farming, if you need to like recover your HP.
Right. So just farming these Ancients. Bullwhip. I like Bullwhip. I think it's a solid item.
It's one of the best sounds, at least. It's a decent item, but the sound is too good. Being able to whip someone in Dota just feels so good. Either yourself, allies, enemies.
A lot you can do with it. Yules, Arena, and Spear lined up. KP not having big problems right now. They'll go after the Brewmaster up into the air once again. They've got the silence. Rolling Thunder comes through. Do they have the damage to kill him before maybe a potential primal split? Yes, they do. But the charge comes in from DapBB as well as the Laguna Blade out onto Tim's. LSA hits onto Femi. Now the silence. Uh-oh. They'll kill the Oracle. And now Gabby trying to get things done with the waveform and focusing his attention on the DapBB, but they have the LSA as well as the right clicks coming through to Armel with the Exorcism going. They just don't have the damage to finish him off before he's able to get the Yules and survive. And with a Crypt Swarm will take Hustler's life. Hung and 458 are forced to retreat. And that is with the Arcane Rune, I believe, being used.
Yeah,
by
she
that
popped
Drow.
it right before the fight started. Febby, something that he loves to do, like potentially throw his body. They invest heavily to get a kill on him. He buys back. I don't think they can get Roche from this, but possibly with the next Exorcism. I love the build on that Prophet. Yule Scepter, Power Treads, tanking up, getting Heaven's Halberd against the Draw Ranger feels so good, like having the Miss Chance against the Brewlings, as well as some status resistance and the heal amplification. This item just fits that Prophet so well.
Force that forward. Red with the blink. Now the Primal Split. Laguna Blade on the right click on a Febby. They've got the kill, the Cyclone onto the Mars. But now the Yules hits onto the Lina. Gabby comes over. Adaptive Strike thrown over at Hung. Not going to do enough. They're trying to get the kill on the DapBB, but they've got the LSA coming up from Hung. Now they have the disarm out of the Lina, as well as the Gust hitting onto the Death Prophet. They get the kill on a 458. They'll look over at the Lina. Hung low. Hung gone. See you later. Arena down, but it's only going to be around Red. And I think that's fine with Armel having the Spirit Siphon, as well as now the Illusion Rune that gets popped. They'll go after Red. throw that spear, but it won't connect. They've got the Yules once again. They have the control. They'll look to kill the Brewmaster. God's Rebuke into the trees. Thunderclap, Crypt Swarm, and into the maze they go. Ooh,
oh, no.
Away!
I think he blocked him there with an illusion, which allowed Brewmaster to be able to blink out. 496 not respecting the tankiness of the Death Prophet. I just talked about our item. She was sitting at the tier 2 tower, so you get extra HP, which is also amplified XP region, and you get extra armor. Like the miss chance is like 20%. That's you know, very hard to pierce. At least it's something, you know, they get the gold for it. Still gonna be very, very hard. Morphling now, I'm gonna say, getting out of control. Once he gets that E-Blade, there is no defensive ability on 496, so once Morphling decides to like go in, you need to itemize to be able to defend yourself. Lina has Yule Scepter to possibly dodge. There's Brewmaster with the hood, so he can survive the initial burst, but others need to be very careful.
Man. Okay, so Morphling's going E-Blade, and then he's going Axe. What are TNC brewing up here with an Axe on this morph? What are they looking at? Who is he trying to morph into? Hold on. Before we answer that question, Blink Dagger by Tims with the Rolling Thunder. Easy killing a Hustler. Not sure they needed the arena, but why not keep the lockdown on the Mirana so he can't leap away?
Who's he trying to morph into? Either Dead Prophet or Pango. I think Pango is his target, having a Swashbuckle, which deals insane amount of damage. The Disarm, Shield Crash, which gives you the tankiness.
Have to see how that goes. I'm interested to see what TNC's planning.
Dead Prophet now is level 18, level 3 ulti with the Arcane Rune. She just pops it straight away with the Blink Dagger, can close the gap.
Now looking over at 458 with the Swashbuckle coming in as well as the Waveform. They get the kill into 458. They'll look over at DPB with the Primal Split being used by Red. DPB goes under the tower. Meanwhile, Red goes the other direction, so they Delta split away from each other. And the focus is on to the Spirit Break. Rolls up into the air. KP with the Spear. That lands. No problems there. Armel with another one.
KP.
And now KP has a blink.
Yeah. When he's landing his spells, all good. When he's not, due to lag or delay, we can call him K-Ping.
You're getting a lot of clever ones in on this game. Really hope.
I did not prepare this stuff. Like,
I
really don't. I'm not at home, you know, sitting about and thinking, like, what am I gonna say about this certain player? Yeah, now he has the Yule Scepter, Blink Dagger, much easier to set things up. Lina, Invis. Let's see if she... Oh, that stun. It was not even close.
False Promise save. Laguna Blade Arena down, but it's going to be a whiff. They're able to leave as the charge comes through from DPB. Does stop the Pangoir in his tracks for a second. They will still find this Lina. And Swashbuckle silence fortunes, and with the Spirit Siphon and the Crypt Swarm is enough for Armel to be godlike. As well, DPB, he's dusted, trying to run. Look how slow he charges, but now, all right, picks up some speed. Turns on the gas, and gets out of there, as now Hustler, well, he's the one who's caught in stay.
With honor.
Another exorcism is up. TNC is just controlling pretty much all the runes. They had the 3 Arcane runes so far on the Dead Prophet. Gabby kills that BB.
Yeah, by itself. Silent. Manta. Immediately trying to TP. Charges. Not going to reach away in time.
So buyback from that BB. It's slowly falling apart. TNC is kind of a slow team. You know, they're really not that aggressive early on, but once they get things going, get things into motion, it's going well. Like, this is their timing. They need to start putting some more pressure on the towers. Still tier 2 towers alive, even a tier 1 tower on the top.
There's still 2 ones to play with. Man, Armel's 12-1-7. Rolling Thunder with the arena land the spear onto Hung, who gets pushed out of the arena thanks to the Rolling Thunder. Might have been enough to give him some distance to escape on this, but there's the E-Blade showing off for Gabby. They'll get the life of 458. Yule's up into the air. They take out KP. Hustle, I believe, landed an arrow on that one. So now they'll focus their attention onto the Mirana. Under the tier 2 is not going to help you as Gabby turns into the Spirit Breaker, charges you, and takes you out. But 496, they're not giving up. They have the ulti coming through as well as the LSA. The False Promise is going to be there to save Tim's. Silence hits onto Red. He'll fall to the right click and the adaptive strike of Gabby as DPC and Hung are trying to be the only survivors left in this fight. But the Swashbuckle, it hits onto DPC, charge away, and it's all the way through to the top lane, I believe.
That BB, he stops and, you know, just picks up Arcane Rune. We didn't want to fight another Arcane Rune Death Prophet. They're lacking damage. They don't have enough damage to kill a single hero, especially if there's a good positioning from the Oracle. Morphling's causing a lot of issues with his Manta style, and E-Blade already has that defensive tool. And, like, once he goes in, one guy's just probably dead from the shotgun.
Right. Yeah, got a quick blow up on 458. Going into the Butterfly next. Morph, like we said, Ags afterwards, and I believe is already 2 portions of the way in, yeah. DPC. He did buy back, holding to his namesake, Dat buyback.
He did. Yes, he did. Now, he's really not having any items. It's very hard. 1,000 net worth only.
Yeah, it's
2,000. Sorry, my eyes are deceiving me.
It's still pretty low. I think the spear missed there from KP. Fortune's in, rooting him up, locking him in, but not enough to get the kill. Moonlight Shadow committed, but Gabby again now with the kill on a DPC. Charge coming in at a 458.
They should definitely stop.
Waveform looking for 458 as Febby dies to Hung Hung.
Spirit Breaker has 2 points in charge, 2 points in Greater Bash. They need to stop killing him if Gabby wants to keep turning into Spirit Breaker. You know, just let him get some levels so your abilities will be stronger.
Psychic Headband and Order Destruction. I don't hate it. Don't hate it one bit there for 496.
So cast range on LSA is going to be insane. Cast range talent, Ether Lens, and Psychic Headband. Aghanim Scepter done. So that's the burst damage, pure damage coming out from Laguna Blade. Could be able to burst Morphling, maybe DP. But it's going to be hard. It's going to be tough. Like, Death Prophet is super tanky. Almost 2.5k HP. If Strength Power Treads are on.
2480 with Strength Power Treads. Quickly toggling them back and forth. Now they're Strength, now they're Int. Now they're Int, now they're Strength. Look at that.
Magic.
Valve, if you want to sell a product, I think you should collab with Nike or any shoe brand and get treads that actually swap colors. I'd buy them. Oh, arrow hits on the smoke.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
I'm just thinking about like all the possibilities, like having Dota 2 Nike feeders. Like this is our newest collection called Feeder Collection.
Have them come out with the anime. Random, huh? I'll take a pair for free for coming up with that idea, though. TNC.
The best we can do is the left one. Like, you get the left one. I'm not sure how you're getting the right one, but...
You better farm for that right one. Red looking like he wants to make a move. Actually, the whole team looks like they want to make a move. By the way, Brew going for that Axe. Only 1,000 gold away from that. Not too far off.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Come around with this smoke. A little bit of a backstab, but they think so as KP and Armel... There was still smoke. Thunderclap finding KP. Primal split. Charge came in as the Cyclone was there. KP throws the arena. Looking like he's going to die first. Bash him from DPC. They get the kill to KP. It's the Hurricane Pike onto Armel, but he's silenced, in trouble, and probably dead. He'll fall just like his brethren Hung. While Hustle and DPC will try to run away from the situation as the arrow heavy. He's got a blink dagger. Ain't going to be that easy to hit an arrow on an Oracle. double kill there for Armel, taking out Hustla. Looking maybe towards Roche, but that's not up for another minute and 10.
They only managed to kill one hero. I'm not sure if Febby didn't want to use False Promise or it was on the edge, very close to, just trying to save his teammate. Yeah, this game just feels like 496. They're out of the options. You can see like these desperation smokes trying to make stuff happen. You need to go for Oracle, but then again, there's going to be some kind of a counter reaction to that, like a Yule Scepter possibly, disarm, silence. You need to be very, very careful how you approach a fight.
Right. Now being down by 12K, this is so much experience. That was like 25,000. This is not looking that great for 496. All right, 458's going to commit to that TP. Swashbuckle, Rolling Thunder, and Angelier's Blink is on cooldown. Charge, stopping him for a second. They've got the silence onto the Mirana. Now the Primal Split from the high ground. Looking to use on Tim. Swashbuckle, Arena, nicely placed, as well as the charge coming in with the spear hitting the Arena. They get the kill on a 458. False Promise saves Tim's. Hung, you're trying to run, but you're getting bounced back by the Arena. That's not how this works. You can't just walk out. Once you're a contestant, you're in there for good. And now you're gone. Dead with that BB. Febby finally falls, but he did save the life of that Pangolier. Charge over on the Hustla, and they'll get themselves a fourth godlike there for Gabby, and potentially
another
full team
split.
wipe.
Ready in a second. It's available.
And he gets it off, but is he going to get away? They've got one Panda. Looking with two Pandas left. Ooh. Stun on the...
Remember, he can turn into Panda and just blink away. Now, you don't necessarily need to be in Earth mode. Yeah, that's what he does. Because that's what Aghanim Scepter gives you. TNC understanding what they need to do in these fights is just top-notch. They go on Drow Ranger every single time. There is no real counterplay. They don't have any saving abilities. They don't have any saving items. Force Staff on the Drow Ranger. I mean, Pike. There's no Glimmer Cape, so once they get the jump, Drow Ranger's just straight up dead.
Cheese there, guys. Lincoln's picked up for Gabby. Red wants to go for this shard. He's also got AC queued. I really, really want to see the shard.
Sure. You get that extra Bruling that has a disarm. I don't know. I don't think it's going to matter, but yeah, seeing new stuff in Dota and professional games makes my heart warm. Febby. This combo, we've seen it so many times.
That arrow could have been blowing up KP, but he gets the cheese. With 20 health remaining, gets the cheese off 458. You don't have a cheese, so there's no luxury item that's going to make it so you get all your health back for you. Well, Gabby will also get the kill on the Hung, take out this Lina. KP falls, but two are gone again on 496. Hustler, he'll TP away. That BB not so fortunate as Gabby gets a double kill. He's beyond godlike, right on top of the Brewmaster.
Now Brewmaster's just having fun. They were dancing. He understands. I'm dead. Nothing I can do about it. Another DP with Arcane Rune, level 26. I don't know. 496, they had their fun in their laning stage. 10-15 minutes of the game, same what happened in game number 1.
Yeah.
Now it just feels completely done. Cheese eaten by Mars, kept him alive, but still died in the end. Aegis available on Morphling. I think this is where the game ends.
Man, just coming through and destroying Hustla. And now the charge in from DapBB, but that is not the proper spot to be in. Show Crash right on top. Crypt Swarm with the adaptive strike. They'll get the kill on a DapBB, and, well, they've got 458 alive again. Maybe they'll make an attempt to try and
when you said they
salvage
have
something.
4 or 5, I thought you were going to say 4 or 5 seconds to decide if they're going to call it right now.
No. I mean, they do, but at the same time, they're not going to call it just yet. This Hung just gets obliterated by Gabby. There's the...
Another exorcism. Man, these Arcane Runes actually destroying 496.
There's been about 8 or 9 It's really disgusting. The arena's down, the GG's called, the 2-0's there for TNC, and the totally not cringe prediction.
What you don't expect is your mid laner getting as dumpstered as it happened. You know, you just straight up die, TP back, die again. Lina's game was kind of over. He managed to recover nicely, but still feels very bad. You know, just the overall like drafting issues that 496 has, something that they need to work on.
Yeah, we'll see what happens as 496 grow as a team and, you know, use these experiences to learn from and see what they can do differently, maybe where they can mesh a little bit better, or even just finding themselves a little bit more and more with the way they draft, the way they play. But we'll see. TNC, on the other hand, they still have life. And, well, they've got one more matchup remaining. But to break down this matchup is, of course, the handsome panel. Back over to you guys.
Sure, why not? Yeah, indeed, that was TNC taking the series 2-0. Pretty good stuff from them, and proving that, you know, just about any hero seems to be able to work with this Morphling, you know, that Morphling Spirit Breaker combo. We mentioned it, but that was good. I like that.
Yeah, not really a combo if they're picking the Spirit Breaker, but if you're morphing into the enemy hero and you make it work a little bit better, then sure, why not? Overall, it wasn't truly only on the Morphling. Armel, that Prophet was a beast during the game, just going in, killing off the Lina all by his lonesome. On the mid lane as well, man, what happened? Lina matchup versus DP, that was always Lina favored.
Yeah, it still is.
It still is. You would pick Lina into the Dead Prophet and then you die once, not buy back, TP back and then die again. Woo!
Yeah, and despite all that, 496 actually again managed to put up a fight until like 25 minutes or so, and then they just fell apart again just like in game 1, simply because of the draft again. It's too easy to reach the back line once you're there. Lina is just running away from the DP, Drow is running away from the DP. There's just no damage coming.
Yeah, here you can see both of them actually going ham attacking that Prophet, but the moment the Yules is there, Morphling follows up, you have the Mars following up, and you can't really continue hitting her. Armel survives, takes an objective, easy game. But overall for 496 you can definitely see the skill. The skill is there, the potential is there, but the experience really isn't. It's lacking.
There's some pitfalls they keep getting caught out by. What do I ask about the Death Prophet? Was it a lack of control or a lack of damage which was allowing her to just get away with whatever she wanted this game?
They have a lot of control, but
you have Oracle with the Dead Prophet. It's
Oracle,
just
an
amazing
Mars,
combo, yeah.
There's a Pangolier. It's not as easy as you lock down and kill him. Now, even if you lock him down, you still have a lot of other factors to take into account. And as I said, like, if you have these two heroes and both of them opted to not go BKB, one Pango just disrupts the entire team fight, or one Mars, or anything really, and they suddenly couldn't fight anymore.
Yeah, look, it's all smiley faces across the board though, so that's nice to see. I think if you're 496, you kind of expected this outcome. You obviously hoped to win, but this was the expected result for both of these teams, both of these squads, and now 496 still have everything in their hands to not be relegated. They need to win the game versus Execration. If they do so, they're through. Execration and Vice will most likely, like 99%.
Today.
Yeah, unless Vice wins versus Boom.
Yeah, if Vice win versus Boom, then it turns out that the next match will be the Execration versus 496 game will be the tiebreaker. Well, it will lead to a tiebreaker against 496 against Vice, sorry. So I mean, but that's not very likely to happen. But yeah, definitely feels like 496. You know, maybe they would have had a bit more fire, a bit more kind of competitive motivation if they had Bombi here, but he's missing for personal reasons, therefore we don't have him on the team. It seems like 496 were just kind of ready to embrace that, just like, hey, you know what, it would have been a tough matchup anyway. Now it becomes extremely difficult. We're going to play it out, we're going to have some fun, we're going to try some stuff out, we're going to enjoy our time with 458 and just see what we can do. Maybe one of our curveballs actually ends up going past them, but if TNC, they were just on it today, and that TNC are playing for win. There's no messing around from this team right now. If they drop this game, then it would have disastrous consequences for them. So yeah, they weren't going to let anything go. And of course, the number one player who did not let anything go is of course going to be Armel on the Death Prophet. No surprises here. He is our MVP for this game number 2. Just absolutely demolishing. I loved every single team fight you watch. It was just Armel chasing the Drow. Like, the Drow just spent her entire team fight running away from Ghost. She was she was an episode of Scooby-Doo.
So would you run away from Ghosts too, or what? Would you just stand there? There's a spooky ghost lady chasing you, floating in the air. Of course you're gonna run.
Ghosts don't exist, so I would probably go and see a psychiatrist. But in a game of Dota, I'd definitely run away. There's no other option, especially when Armel is as beefed as he is in this game with that huge amount of hero damage, GPM, everything looking really good across the board. I mean, a great performance from Armel and winning an unfavorable matchup as well. You know, how did he really do that, turning against the Lina?
I mean, really, the only ways like that happens is if there's a mistake on the hero that should win the matchup. He made 2 of them consecutively.
Actually, you know what, Black? I don't want to hear it from you. I want to hear it from the man himself. So we're actually going to talk to Armel. Firstly, Armel, congratulations, and can you hear us?
Hello, yeah, I can hear.
Good stuff, good stuff. All right, so I'll ask you the question I just asked Black. How did you win the matchup versus Lina?
I actually have no idea to. I thought the matchup was like really unfavorable for DP.
Yeah, it's very hard. Somehow you killed him twice.
Yeah, good job.
Yeah,
good job.
2,000 net worth ahead, no problem.
Obviously, coming into this game, you know, there was a new patch this morning. What did you guys do to prepare and kind of, you know, to read with the patch and everything?
We don't actually think like it's a really big deal, to be honest, especially the ES morph. So we don't really mind, like, it's still gonna be the same hero, but we're gonna play.
Cool, cool. So it's definitely an attitude worked out. Did you feel targeted by the morph nerfs at all, or were you like, nah, that wasn't about us?
No, Gabi's too good in the morphling. He don't need ES.
Gonna hit Team Dark to enjoy the interview for sure. So, who do you think are going to be the top 3 teams in the SEA DPC then?
Besides you, of course.
Good. Let's see. I'm actually not sure because the 4 teams like actually really close.
Yeah.
In like qualifying, right? So
we can see some 4-way ties.
Neon Fnatic then like T1 or us, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Fnatic, you guys and
yeah.
Potentially T1 and Neon.
Yes.
Yeah,
Fnatic us then.
It's very, very close. Your next match is very, very critical, of course, playing versus Fnatic. What's your relationship like with Fnatic?
Yeah, like kinda really looking forward for that match. Like we're training really hard these days. Like like we're like kind of rivals, so yeah, we're gonna do our best against those guys.
Forever.
Yeah, absolutely. Is it like a friendly rivalship, or is there going to be, you know, a little bit of flame in that match?
Maybe friendly. I'm not sure. Like
a bit of both. A bit of both.
It's just like half. Well, yeah, half.
All right. Well, I think that's just about it from us. Any questions for you guys? You're all good? Yeah.
You know, like I usually have a lot of questions, but I'm losing a lot. I'm depressed a little bit. Can you help me? What do you do when you lose a lot of pubs? Is there some? How do you adapt to that?
I just rage on my teammates.
I just rage?
that is not true. That is not true. I play a lot with him. That is not true. He's not doing that.
See, this is intelligent plays from Armel. He's trying to get other people to rage to make his pubs easier.
That's it.
Damn.
The
Never
next
stops
level
with
play.
this guy. Never stops with this guy.
Okay, Armel, one final thing, because of course we are good friends. I'm gonna give you a friendly advice. Try some Lion mid.
Lion mid.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'll talk to you about it later on Steam. I'll give you some details.
Okay, give me some tip, okay?
Yeah, we'll do.
Damn, there's some behind-the-scenes negotiations going on between talent and player. Very interesting stuff. Alrighty, Armel, thank you very much for coming to talk to us. It's a pleasure to talk to you. Congratulations on your win, and we wish you the best of luck in your series versus Fnatic next week.
Yeah, congratulations.
Alright.
Congrats.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Damn, what a guy. What a you know, they said he was the
friendly.
funny one.
Yeah, he's super friendly.
Yeah.
If we do see a Lion mid versus Fnatic, though, we have one guy to blame here.
Dude, imagine though it wins. Like, I'm gonna demand like half the prize money.
I don't think you're getting that.
I don't think so either, but I can demand.
You can demand it. True, true. No one's stopping you from doing that. Alrighty. Well, with this win under their belts, TNC do start to tighten things up at the top here in the DPC SEA, and we can have a look at those standings right now and see where everything is looking. Of course,
That
Neon
is
still at the top.
the
with
outdated one.
Did they lose one?
Yes, they did
So
indeed.
Fnatic is 5-1
5-1.
and Neon is 5-1.
And yeah,
And
yeah.
TNC is 4. No, the rest is correct though.
Yeah, which is just, yeah.
It was
sure.
just from 2 days ago.
Yeah, yeah, but basically the top 2 teams are tied, and now TNC are tied with T1.
Tied with T1,
Yep,
yes. So top 3 and 4 are also tied.
2 ties, but we're not at the end yet, so those tiebreakers won't come into effect just yet because TNC are still playing against Fnatic, which is definitely going to break something. Or it could even everything out. And of course, we have more games coming up. And talking about games coming up, our next series of the day is going to be Vice versus Boom. Once again, you know, kind of a must-win series for Boom, but also a should-win series for Boom. It's very unlikely that they get knocked out. Vice, meanwhile, they also need to win this one. If they lose it, they're relegated. So, yeah, both teams in a very sticky situation. Quick predictions for the series before we throw it over to a break, guys.
Let's just give it to Black because he's not going to be on the panel. What do you think?
I think Mikoto and 23 Savage is a pretty beastly combo. We haven't seen much from it, but from what we have seen, super good.
Yeah,
So.
communication barriers don't mean much when you're as good as these two are, 2 rising stars in the scene who are going to be a pleasure to watch. So stick around as we get back into it. We are going to throw it to a break, after which we shall be back with that series. So don't go anywhere for more DPC SEA action. Cost and Headsman Lizard over there, and ready to fight for our entertainment in the arena is the two teams coming up, which is going to be Vice versus Boom Esports. Guys, this game, it's looking pretty spicy. I mean, you know, Vice, but Boom, pretty good. Pretty
Yes,
good.
my lord. Subjects are ready to fight for your, what? Entertainment?
Entertainment.
I thought you were just gonna call us peasants. You know.
I'm one step away, but you know,
Plebs.
we'll keep it above that line for the time being. The casters are the plebs. We can throw to our plebs later on. But yeah, I mean, Boom, you know, they've done a little bit of a switcheroo. You know, poor old Drew got switcherooed out for 23 Savage, who's been, you know, described as one of the most talented players in the SEA region.
More like dude has been really, really good for quite some time.
He's up and came.
He's really there. He's been there, and you know, I heard he had a lot of offers to go to different regions, but decided not to do so because his English is not really good. But you know, understandable that other teams wanted to poach him because the dude is just insanely talented.
Yeah, he's very, very good, often carrying games from the mid lane. Last time we spoke about them, you know, we were worried a little bit about the two of them taking up a bit too much space in the team. Do we still have these concerns after seeing their last series, Lizard?
No, not at all.
Oh,
After seeing the way 23 Savage played, you just see it. It all clicked. That's it. Like, you might have even some language difficulties with him, but it really does not show. And overall, in the game, you can definitely understand why they replaced Drew for a player such as 23 Savage. Drew, obviously, bright future ahead. We wish him all the best. There's different seasons up and coming that he can join with a different stack, perhaps. But 23 Savage looks like this is the mold for him. And this is the team for him.
Yeah, would you agree, Lucas?
Yeah, the 23 Savage looks like a good fit, even after playing only 2 games. You know, they probably played a lot of scrims in between, but the official ones, he looks scary. Still does, you know, some overextending stuff, but, you know, he's not hesitant on how to use the buybacks. He knows what he's doing in a team fight. A bit of a throw here and there, but you know, it's pretty common in Southeast Asia region.
Isn't it better to have a bit of a throw now and there than to always be behind, always be waiting as a core, which is something that we've seen with Drew.
I think 23 Savage in those 2 games, I'm going to be a Savage myself a bit here. 23 Savage dealt more tower damage than Drew did throughout this whole DPC season.
Feels bad, man, but...
Yeah, probably not too far from the truth.
He's not afraid. Like, this is what I want to see in a player. When he goes in, he knows his stuff. He knows the limits of the hero. Drew was really scared. Like, you could feel that the pressure, him playing the DPC league, was getting to him.
Yeah, we're still yet to see him really grow. He was getting there. We were seeing small improvements, but, you know, he is a player which is going to need some time to grow, and boom, they're looking for someone more developed than that.
It's really something that comes with experience for some players as well. It doesn't necessarily have to mean that he is not skilled enough. It just means that the pressure, like Lacoste said, it gets to him. It becomes difficult for him to play in these games. There's a lot of noise in the head instead of just keeping that clarity and ability to
Needs
focus
more
on the
experience
objectives.
for sure. Buy 2-3 tomes of knowledge, and he's gonna be there. Like, has potential for sure. Has potential, but needs the, you know, Drew has potential, and I personally don't want him like that. This change of a player gets to him because it could. You know, he's a young player. You're gonna be down, man. I invested so much time in this, and now I'm nowhere. But yeah.
Which team would you like to see him on? Say, if you could theoretically put him in any team, where do you think he'd be a good fit to really shine and improve?
First of all, he needs to improve stuff that he's making mistakes, and then he can start thinking about joining a team.
Yep. Okay. Well, that's the situation we're in for Team Boom. However, let's look across over towards Vice Esports, as they're in an interesting position right now. So they're currently in a 3-way tie for last, along with Execration of 496. If they win this game, they will go into safety for a few days, but then they will have to play a tiebreaker versus the winner of 496 versus Execration. However, if they lose, which is kind of more likely, then they will be in last place and definitely relegated. So it's a must-win series for them, and unfortunately, it's a very difficult one. This is when we're going to see the team, you know, I think, to be realistic, we're not really looking for this team to win this series, but we're looking for this team to perform really, really well and then possibly see them, you know, take the top spot in Div 2 next season. Would you guys agree with that?
That's pretty fair. I would say that's very realistic. Coming into this series, unless 23 Savage and the boys do some very, very awkward mistakes, we can't really see them losing, specifically thinking that, boom, they still have a shot at the major if they win this game. It's not completely in their hands, but it's possible.
Yeah.
So it's very unlikely that they will throw the series.
No, they're going to be playing their hardest, and you know, if I say they have, pretty honestly, like the less to play for, it's really hard for them to not get relegated here. Let's have a look at the head-to-head player matchup as we'll be looking towards the mid lane. Of course, it's going to be our boy Bob Weiss, and it's going to be Makoto playing on Boom.
Bob Weiss.
Old Bob Weiss, Nicole's favorite player.
For sure, it's just the name that makes me chuckle every single time.
I feel like he needs a pair of aviators on, you know, maybe like a lowrider car to drive around in.
My man Bob, he's, you know, a coin flip. You never know what's going to happen in the mid lane with him. That's why I like him so much. You know, very likable guy overall. It can backfire. Now, it could potentially happen what happened in the previous game where Lina against Dead Prophet. I could see Bob being that Lina, you know, just dying twice in a row.
But can you see him being the Death Prophet?
Then again, he does surprise us in some games. If you remember the OD game, if you give him the right hero under the right circumstances,
sure, but against Makoto, I don't think he stands a chance, to be honest. Like, let's be realistic here for a second, then we can continue being delusional. Lizard, you go.
So, if the game is right and Makoto feeds a couple of times, you never know. Bob can take over. Bob Weiss. This name, this nickname demands authority. It demands respect. Yeah, it's going to be hard.
It's going to be tough for Bobby, that's for sure.
It's a long shot. It's a long shot. Yeah, as I said, like, this is a test for them. They might be able to take a game if there's some mistakes made by Boom and if Vice plays an outstanding Dota, which, you know, they've come close to before, but for them to win this series, they'll have to play at a level we haven't seen them play close to yet. That's pretty much what it's coming down to. There's just so much talent on the side of Boom Esports and so much at stake for them where they're just not going to be messing around. But hey, maybe the pressure gets to Boom. Who knows? But 23 Savage looked last series like he was so hungry to go to, like he's doing everything in his power to get to this major. I like to think he's on like a death course. He just wants to play Vici. He just wants to, even if they win this series, it's still on T1.
If they do
TNC, yeah, they need TNC and T1 to lose.
The thing is, if they and these two series are not easy for T1 and TNC, so you could perhaps expect them to even lose, and then we're going to have this three-way tie. Either way, the last week of the tournament will be extremely interesting because we'll either see those top three-way ties or the middle pack. So we'll see some tiebreakers.
It's gonna be hype. There's gonna be some tiebreakers for sure. We just need to decide, you know, which ones. One thing I noticed about my notes when I do the prep for Vice, every single time they play, I have one less. Like I always write good and bad things. I have one
less good thing.
Yeah, one less good thing to say every single time they play.
Oh.
You know? Like in the end, I was running out of options. Let's see what they can do. One thing I dislike about the team is that they're like counterpicking themselves. Last series they played, they picked Storm Spirit and Ricky into Puck. They lost that game in 15 minutes against T1.
I'm sorry. One of the negatives is they counterpick themselves. A very small one.
They really do, though. Yeah. They really do. All right. Yeah, I mean, my notes are an absolute mess, by the way, because I was trying to figure out all the different permutations. So, like, if 496 win, if 496 lose, if TNC win, TNC lose, and all different. And I've just got like pages and pages. I'm just looking at this today and thinking, when did I ever expect me to be just like reading out my... So, guys, you know, let's take 15 minutes to have a look at how everything can go down.
Can you remember, if you scroll back through all your notes, the first hero that Boom played in the first series, was it perhaps the Bounty Hunter?
Yes,
Yeah.
it was.
And that's
Still
where we,
rings a bell.
yeah, that's where we started hating on the hero, because from that point onwards, for a couple of weeks, I would say 4 weeks, Bounty Hunter did not win a single match.
Like, look at this opening. This
But
is
this
something
is
that
better.
doesn't happen. Like, I watch pretty much all other regions when I'm not asleep. So I don't think I've ever seen this before. Like, Phantom
Bounty
Lancer,
PL, yep.
Bounty Hunter opener.
The PL on its own, being first phased, is not that great. Yeah, but versus Mirana and the Beastmaster, it does make sense. It's a really good hero versus the Beast in the lane. Versus the Mirana, you're not really that pressured too there, but you are giving them a chance to counter pick you in the next 2.
Yeah, this hero can be flexed. Like, you cannot play this hero at any other position than position 1. Maybe a mid in like certain situations, but it's still gonna be like a carry position while you're gonna have like a safe.
It's carry, like 100%.
So can't be flexed. This is something that I don't like to see when you have this like set in stone pick. We're gonna do this, especially in the first phase. So you're giving them a lot of chance.
Are they making a statement here? Is that what it is?
Could be.
Yeah,
I feel like that's the case. Like,
because you can't really, when you go into those tiebreakers, this is all considering they win this series, you can't just open up with a PL like this. You will be countered, even if you ban out. What, you're going to ban out some Lash, maybe some Ember or Zeus, some
are
AoE
they just saying,
damage?
like, you know, we don't fear Vice at all, so we're just going to open up with something random? You're not random, but, you know, something which we think can work, but is also pretty unusual, so that we cover our openings and we're less easy to predict in our, like, the very important games. Because the way they're thinking right now is, like, you know, we have to do everything we can to prepare for the eventuality that we could be stuck in some tiebreakers, which might decide whether we go to the major. Everything we do from this point onwards is in preparation of that.
What I'm thinking when I see these picks is how are, like, if they qualify to a major, how they're gonna, like, if they open up with things like this, that's very punishable. You play from the best teams from other regions, you should get punished. So even if you go there, like, you can't afford to open up with something like this.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I don't think they will. I think they're just picking this to defend other openings. They just don't want to give away what they like the most of their openings.
Yeah, so open up with your worst so that you get the best. Yeah, it's a very slippery slope right there, because even versus Vice, if you open up with your worst, it can bite you eventually. And Vice, we are talking about Bob, you know, but if he gets the right hero and if he's uncountered, like a Storm Spirit, let's say, he'll do something similar that Mikoto does. We've seen SCA. All of these players are extremely skilled. And strategy plays a part, but it's very minuscule in comparison to the individual skills. So you have to be careful here. And Storm Spirit banned out by Boom.
And also, like, when it comes to team skill, you know, that's going to come down to team strategy. That comes down to communication all the time as well. We have to respect the fact that Boom Esports are playing with 23 Savage, who is not going to be communicating excellently with their team. You know, there is a language barrier there, which could come into effect if the going gets tough. You know, you never know.
All right so far.
Well, yeah, sure.
Dota is universal language. You can just ping, spam the pings. You can use the
voice lines.
Yeah, voice lines.
Davai works in every language.
Just
I've
go.
heard,
Everyone knows what go means. Go, farm, fight. Like, it's easy to. Like, I played with a lot of players, you know, that especially back in the days, like 2011, 2012, where players didn't speak English, especially some from like CIS region, and you could still play Dota with them. Like, it didn't really matter.
Well,
or you just learn Russian if they don't speak English. That also.
A majority was English speaking, so you know they had to adapt.
Alrighty, well, we have got ourselves some picks now, as we have the Coddle and the Ember picked up by Vice Esports. Meanwhile, Boom, they go for the Rubik and the Mars. I like both of these middle pairing of heroes for both these teams. Which one do you guys prefer?
Yeah, both are fine. You have the Coddle Ember to deal with the PL later on. You have the Chakra Magic and Sleight of Fist combo. On the other hand, you have a very stable offlane duo with the Rubik and the Mars. So overall, pretty solid.
Ember doesn't deal well with PL later on. Like, he's good in the mid game. Once Phantom Lancer tanks up, Ember struggles. Because they don't have a second hero. They need like one more hero that can deal with the Phantom Lancer. I like how Boom Esports banned out Lashrak. They banned Monkey King. Monkey builds into Battle Fury. Lashrak is just the best possible counter for Phantom Lancer because you kill illusions, and this is where the most damage comes from. So.
It's about the build as well. In the natural progression on the Ember with the Maelstrom possibility into Shivas, you're just making his life way harder later on. You're not going to kill him on your own, but he won't have a completely free game.
My problem is who kills Phantom Lancer in this game. Unless it's Ember Spirit, like he's not afraid of Keeper of the Light, Batrider and Marana. These heroes don't do well with him.
You need a position 1 that will have a good matchup.
So scaling AoE damage.
Possibly Ricky. Ricky got nerfed pretty hard. It's still a possibility. Like
the thing is, we saw that. Like the last time we played it, the last time we saw PL, we saw the Ricky, and it didn't answer it at all.
Yep.
You're correct. I still think. Because Phantom Lancer was staying 4 or 5k gold ahead of Ricky.
True, we did get there, but yeah.
The thing is, it's easier to play the PL. Like later on in the ultra late game, yeah, Ricky definitely one-shots anyone, but it's easier to play the PL as a team. You have this hero that's creating chaos, that's running in first, making things happen. And Ricky is a different type. He needs stuff to happen, so he goes in with Tricks of Trade, then blinks out, then goes back in, and you can't even do that reliably any longer because of the fact that your Tricks of Trade have been reduced, which is a significant nerf. It looks minuscule, but it's actually significant, as you can't reset in the same team fight multiple times.
All right. I'm thinking Wraith King then possibly for Vice Esports. You can go for that Radiance and...
Not a bad choice. Ricky is still fine versus the Mars as well in the lane, but Wraith King...
It's a good match. What about Boom? What do they need?
They need Dead Prophet. Dead Prophet looks super scary. Their damage is pretty limited. It's just chip damage. Yeah, looks really good. It's like Mars Dead Prophet is a sick combo.
True.
Now you can go with some playmaking or with something like Lacoste just said, some standard Death Prophet.
Yeah.
Tower pushing.
Yeah,
he's more flashy.
What about a Leshrac instead? Get a bit of...
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they banned it.
Just unban Leshrac.
Just if you ban it, it's not banned for you, right?
Yeah.
Gotta imagine.
Okay, so Boom, this makes a lot of sense. Their last ban is the Troll. It's like Wraith King, Troll, and Ricky. Those are the ones that are left in the pool that would deal